Buddy, it's 8:43 Thursday morning. I'm so excited for the show that we have. I'm hanging out with my good friend, Chevy. Chevy, what's up, man? How are you doing?
What is going on, my brother?
Dude, you looking good this morning.
Hey, thank you.
What you been up to?
I just been, what I do, I cut hair, I take pictures, I hang out with you sometimes, randomly raise 4 boys in between all that. It's intense.
Dude, life is good, though.
Life is great.
Man, I'm feeling like we are going to have one of the best shows ever today.
I'm with you on that.
I feel a passion stirring in this studio.
I like that. I like the feeling. I like the presence. I like the spirit, as they say. I'm hanging out with my man Eldridge over here. Intern Eldridge, just rocking and rolling. I'm pretty sure we're best friends now.
Yeah, there's a good energy in here. It's going to be an exciting show. We have Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Family scheduled to come in at 9 o'clock, and then we're going to be talking to 2 Reality of Wrestling superstars at 10 o'clock. What are their names?
That is Brendan Steen and Mr. Will All Day. And my question is, you have 2 chairs sitting over here, putting them next to each other.
It's risky.
It's risky. With their rivalry they've had for the last few weeks, months even, I could say. I don't know. I don't know if you want to do that, but I like what's going on. I hope you have your equipment insured. You know what I'm saying? Just in case. You never know.
We do. And we thought about this. I was thinking about this last night again. Maybe we have to move Chevy over here, and maybe we got Will, and we have Brendan over here.
Bro, you should have told me. I own a referee shirt.
Okay.
I could have brought it in.
Here's the other thing. We were talking about the glass outside of our studio.
Yeah.
We're due for a new glass replacement.
God.
And if push comes to shove, I'm going to be like, don't break anything. But if you were to break anything, break the glass.
Wrestling history, that's the barbershop window is one of the greatest moments in wrestling history, where Shawn Michaels threw Marty Jannetty through the window. And if I can be a part of any bit of that, my life would be made.
Yeah, so this is Kickstart. We got 49 seconds left, and then we're going to be going on to the FM as well. What's up, Facebook? In the comments, let me know, what do you have going on today? What's up, Saul, Josh, Alana, Mr. Alan Hutchins from A&A Machining Fabrication. We appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in. Feel free to share this video out. Smash the share button. Let's spread some positivity and let people know what's going on in the community. Chevy, you have the opportunity to tune in, and you've had the opportunity to come and fill in and sit in the chair.
Yes, never. I have big shoes to fill. I don't know if I can,
Big clown shoes.
big shoes.
So, again, we got 13 seconds. Share this video out. Let us know what you got going on. We're getting into this right now. Actually jamming some Toby Mac compliments of intern Ethan right now on the FM. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
I'm Chevy.
It's 8:46 on a Thursday morning. We have an awesome show that's lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about positivity in the community. We're going to be talking about some local wrestling. We're also going to be talking about a program that does really good things to keep kids off of alcohol and to make sure that they don't get involved in drugs while they're under a certain age.
Right, but what if they go over that age? You're like, it's free for all now. Like,
well, it's a different set of responsibility.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But no, that's amazing work. When you said, "Hey, I'm Gardy," I literally almost was like, "I'm Curt," like from listening to it so much. But I was like, "Oh no, I'm not Curt. I'm not jumping out of airplanes or eating jalapenos in my eye or what. I don't know what Curt does, but whatever Curt needs to do, he does."
I just typed. Someone said good morning. I just said Curt back to Angela. So good morning.
Good morning.
We should have just pretended like you were, like, not even said anything like, "Hey, I'm going to go." Everybody's like, "What's going on?"
Right. I'm Curt. Just different voice, different energy.
If you're listening on 99.5 FM, Curt, he's out of town. He's hanging out. If you're friends with him on Facebook, there's no way that you're going to miss the knowing that he's out of town because he's proud of it.
Right.
And everybody knows, including you.
He's going on an adventure, man. The man deserves a break. Like I said, he's doing good stuff. I think last time I saw him, he was probably like juggling fire sticks and, spitting alcohol on them or whatever Curt does. But he's awesome, man. He's always into everything. Yeah,
it's going to be a good time today. There's a lot of things that we are pumped about. One of the things that I'm most excited about that's coming up later this year, October 12th, is our Talk of Taco cook-off.
All right.
What we need is participants in the Talk of Taco. We've already had a ton of feedback. People have signed up, but we have room for like hundreds.
What's up with Netflix stealing a little of your thunder, bro? Did you see that? Did you see that post?
I saw it.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
See, this is what happens. We had an idea in February. It was called Talk of Taco.
Right.
TV web series, right?
Right.
And it's still in the works. We actually have a little about
the
like
flip
an
side
episode and a
is,
half.
in this area, you're not beating tacos. You know what I'm saying? Netflix can go wherever they want. If they ain't coming to Houston, then what do you know what I'm saying? What are you doing?
I'm standing outside of the restaurants wherever they're at, and I'm having my arms folded like this. That's what I'm doing,
Right.
being like, what are you doing? You know.
Right. No, just a big Netflix with the no sign on your shirt. Nah, man, we ain't having that.
Netflix, you got to get out.
Right.
No, I appreciate Netflix. The taco love, you know.
Right. I feel you. Just spreading the love across the country for tacos.
Yeah. There's enough room for everybody to do everything.
Have you ever had, I know this is on a crazy conversation, but have you ever had an El Valle from Santa Fe, Texas, breakfast burrito, surprise burrito?
No, I haven't.
I'll see if I can bring them tomorrow if I get up early enough to get here. I was going to bring one today, but I didn't wake up. I didn't leave the house in time. But, they're up there. They're one of my favorite breakfast burritos known to man. So,
All right. Wow, I need to try that. Hey, I guess Galveston has its own burrito, too. We had Macio's come in, and she didn't get the burritos from like their own restaurant. She was like, "Hey, you just go, and this is like a Galveston thing." It was like a burrito, and it's like what you get like at all these places.
What do you mean?
I don't know. She said I can't remember exactly what it's
burrito
called.
Or what?
Well, that one wasn't from Bronco Burrito, which we've had and is great. But she said all of the Galveston like taco places, burrito places, they have it, and it's like a Galveston thing. And if you know. If you're from there.
What makes it different?
I don't know. It was just different
Like,
toppings.
we use salt water from the ocean. We just put it in there.
But for the potatoes, for the papas.
Right.
Yeah.
Compost, I think. Have you ever had one of those? They had bro.
Los Compost, they got the like a 5-pound burrito.
Yeah. Like the Domingo or whatever. It's like the size of 2.
Oh, you already know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I just hold it like a small child.
Hey, so we're going to be talking a little bit about the weather for a bit, which is like an old man thing to do.
No,
but
I'm down.
Fortunately, we're
can we even have
men.
a conversation? Do we know what's going on?
I don't think we know what's going on. And here's a comment. Sarah said, it will barely rain. Maybe it'll barely rain here, but you never know with the weather. Even whenever it's not scheduled to rain here, it's going to rain.
After Harvey, like it could rain like my yard's like floods. Like it's never flooded before Harvey.
Really?
We were 3 foot underwater. The house 3 foot underwater, had it rebuilt, amazing, to God's glory. But now when it rains, a little more than just an average whatever, like the whole neighborhood's like on edge. Like, we're all like PTSD from hurricanes or whatever. So I'm not looking forward to next week, but hopefully it'll stay out of the house. That's our big deal.
Yeah, right now I think we need to see what I'm not sure what to do, but Louisiana is getting, from what I've seen, like the weather reports, it was flooding yesterday, and like the worst is still to come, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So us having gone through that before here recently.
Yeah. Well, I mean them too. I mean they had what was that? The Katrina, of course, and then we had Harvey. So they know what's up. Like So hopefully the best of them, and it's not too bad.
I think the best thing that we can do after the water clears is just send water, send money. If you can send yourself to go volunteer and help, that would be huge. There's people that came from all over the country that I met and had the opportunity to work side by side with after Harvey. They were helping, clean, rip out everything from people's houses and just deliver water and just be a good human being.
Right. And Texas just does it right, does it well. You know what I'm saying? So to lend that Texas spirit, that Texas heartbeat, jump across the state line and, kind of show that to people, I think is amazing.
Yeah.
So.
There's something that we've noticed lately. There's a lot of these. Lamarck just had one. It's called a hurricane huddle, but they try and get people prepared for potential storms. Mm-hmm. Are you prepared right now if something was to come to this area?
Not at all. I went through it, and I'm just not. My wife was yelling at me yesterday about it. Like, we just survived a hurricane, and we have nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wasn't. You hear the weather reports, and I've been through it once, so I should be better at what I'm doing. But I'm not fully. I mean, we have water, we have things like that. But if everything went crazy just tomorrow, so we were talking the next few days, hopefully getting the house prepped, getting everything, kind of keep an eye on important stuff, get them off the ground. Some things gets wet, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Some of the bigger furniture you can get more or whatever, but just making the insurance is where it needs to be and all that jazz. So
that's what's important. Did you have insurance the first time?
We're renting kind of. We're in a rent-own situation, so we didn't. It was weird because the insurance was like we weren't the owners, so we didn't really get insurance for that, and then the owners of the house weren't the primary residents, so the insurance wouldn't cover all that. Well, I say FEMA and all that stuff. So but we had everything but flood the first time. The house was insured for everything but flood because again, it's never happened ever in the history of that home. So but we know better now. We have it. So
now it is insured for flood because that's like a weird thing. Insurance that I don't really understand. It's like, well, you're in a flood, zone, so you have to get it. You're not, so you don't. But then it's just like, well, I'm sure your rates are going to go up. You flooded here recently, so now you got to pay more because it has the opportunity or the likelihood to maybe do it again.
Right. It is now, and it's weird too because I've heard stories and where if you have flood but you don't have windstorm, if the water, I don't remember the exact thing, but if the roof didn't blow off, then you weren't covered because the roof had to come up for water to get in your house, for windstorm to cover. Yeah. And so it's a, loopholes trying to get out of that. So
yeah. So if you're watching what's going on in the Gulf right now, just be prepared, for anything to, even after this storm passes, they're still, we're still in that season, and just keep those people in prayer. And then more than just praying, put some action behind it. See if we can, if you have some money to spare, send some funds, or just go down there, volunteer, send some water. There's all kinds of things you can do that don't even cost a dime. There's all kinds of things you can do that doesn't take hardly any time. Just spreading positivity and being a good person, really.
Right. Flashlights, candles, water, canned food, whatever, just to make sure in case you get stuck in the house for a day or so,
Right now it's 8:54. This is KHEAradio.com, 99.5 FM. If you're watching on Facebook, share this video out. If you're listening on 99.5 FM, we appreciate you. You can also download the KHEA Radio app. In doing so, you can stream us from anywhere in the world. Do you have the KHEA Radio app yet, Chevy?
The app, I don't.
Dude, the app, it's brand new, so I understand.
Look, I'm on the show. He's
it's brand new, so I understand. A lot of people don't even realize that we have one yet. It's easy. You just go to the App Store.
What are some features that the app has that would entice me, a man like me, a young father on the go, to get the app? Let's talk about it.
Since I've downloaded the app, I feel like I've gotten smarter. I feel like I've gotten smarter. And one of the reasons is the member benefits. You go and you can literally get discounts at all of these local places.
Sold.
All kinds of places. Yeah, so that's awesome. You can also check out our calendar feature, which lets you know what's going on in the community. So it's like, hey, what do I want to do tonight? Man, there's all kinds of stuff going on in our area. It's all things that we are connected to and we support.
I get those things on Facebook. It's like, event tonight, so-and-so's going to an event, and you click on it, and then, that's on the other side of Houston. I ain't trying to drive on a Thursday night to the other side of Houston. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I like that you're bringing it more local. Boom, right in my area.
And then you can also listen and stream our show, like what we're saying right now. There's people listening on the KHEA Radio app. You can also, if you have a prayer request, put that in there, and it'll pop in front of us, and we'll be able to get it in our thoughts and say, lift it up in prayer, with you and believe. There's a ton of different stuff. I mean, the cool thing about having your own platform is you can kind of get as creative as you want.
Right.
You're limited by, the beauty of Facebook. There's a lot of things that Facebook does, and we appreciate it, and we're going to use it as long as we're allowed to.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's things that we don't like, and so it's like, we use our own platform. As creative as you get, you can make it happen. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So good morning. Hey, what's up, Curt? Watching from Florida, I assume, or you're on the way back. I don't know what's going on, but this is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. I'm hanging out with Chevy. You got Eldridge in here. We're gonna have Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families here in studio in a couple minutes. If you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, feel free to let us know. Shout out to Lizzie and Southern Sass Vinyl and more, and Nate Laws, who are just tuning in. So what's up, guys?
Come on, baby. It's my brother, Nate Laws.
Dude, Nate, he's gonna be. He's wrestling Friday night, right?
He is wrestling Friday night. UPW, you did up, but UPW, Undisputed Pro Wrestling, ran by Mr. Bart Harris. Met Bart the other day. I've met him before, but I actually sat down and talked with him. Amazing guy, just really passionate. Used to wrestle, and just one of those guys, man. I want to give back to the thing I love, and instead of, hey, I'm an older guy who probably shouldn't be in the ring, but I'm going to try anyways. He's like, no. I'm going to open my own, Bart, speaking of Bart Harris, if you ever get him on the show, and I know he works, I was actually talking to him about it. He is one of the first, and I think maybe the first professional sumo wrestlers out of Texas. Straight sumo, bro.
What?
Yes, sumo. And so he was a professional sumo wrestler for years of his life, blew out his ankles, doing sumo wrestling, but I found that super interesting.
Whenever I think of a sumo wrestler, I've seen his picture. I've seen Bart's picture.
Right.
He doesn't look like he's that big.
Sumo, no, but the man was strong. He could push, and he's been all over the country. He was telling me, wrestling pro sumo, like professional sumo. And I want to say, and I could be telling the story wrong, but he was like the first one actually licensed professional sumo out of Texas.
That's awesome.
And yeah, my brother, Mr. Nate Laws, wrestling UPW Friday night in Santa Fe, Texas. You guys look that up, check it out. Nate tears it up every time he steps on the stage. A lot of just electrifies the people. So I think he's in a triple threat tag team for the belts. So
Ooh.
yeah. So there's going to be a lot of bodies getting thrown around the ring, and Nate's one of the biggest ones there. So he's going to be doing a lot of throwing. So I appreciate that man and his passion for what he does. And just talk about positivity, man. He's one of the most positive people I know. Where you follow him on Instagram, Facebook, Mr. Nate Laws, Mr. 409, and man, he'll just lift your spirit sometimes when you're feeling down. So
yeah, being raised in Lamarck, I love to meet other people that are from this area and are proud to be from Lamarck. A lot of people, they move or like, I can't wait to get out or other things, but we want to shine the light what's going on in our area, and specifically Lamarck, because we broadcast from here. Yeah. There's a lot of really cool things that are taking place. There's a brand new food truck park, Market on 3, that's going to be awesome. Opening up right in Lamarck. There's downtown businesses that are opening up, brand new construction. So there's like the stuff on the west side and there's stuff like on the other side, but there's new stuff on both sides, and we want to be able to talk about all those. And then still like the gyms like Snow King, that I was there like 2 days ago getting my snow cone on, and then also awesome. Having the beef jerky. So shout out to those Lamarck businesses as well, and to Nate Laws being proud to represent 409. We appreciate you. We're going to take a quick break. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. When we come back, we're going to be talking to the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Family. Stay tuned. Yeah, you can bring them in. Woo!
So here, we're still rolling Facebook Live.
Yeah, right? Facebook. Right. What's up, family?
What up? So you were like, I don't know what's happening to Curt. So you and Curt are not roommates. Y'all don't. I thought y'all were attached to the hip. I thought y'all do that. That's what y'all need. Y'all need a sitcom.
No, I need
reality show.
I need your T-shirt that you put on your kids. Sometimes me and
oh, you saw that?
I saw that.
Yeah, totally. I don't know. Some people were offended. Like,
hey, how are you?
Hello.
Good. How's it going? Hi.
I'm Jonathan Cottrell.
Jonathan, my name is Gardy.
I'm Chevy.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hi. How are you?
Y'all doing good?
We are. I think.
Awesome.
We're here.
Y'all can get y'all's mics situated, get comfortable. Amanda's a pro. She could probably teach me a thing or two in the studio. Jonathan, you're probably a pro too, huh?
I've done it a few times.
Awesome. Very cool, very cool. So, Jonathan, how are you associated with the Alliance?
Well, I'm very involved in the community, and so I'm one of the dancers for their upcoming Dance with Stars.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, are you being involved in the community? What all do you do?
Wow. Do we have enough time?
Yes, we do. Come on, Jonathan.
We have 1 hour.
Well, let's see. So, Clear Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, serve on their executive board of directors. I'm the chairman of the board for the Clear Creek Education Foundation, and president of my kids' PTA. I'm on the advisory board for the Assistance League of the Bay Area, and so I don't know. I could go on.
What do you do in your actual full-time job?
As a full-time job, I'm a father of 3 daughters, and I'm also a realtor. So I'm a broker. I own my own brokerage, and I do residential and commercial real estate.
Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He wasn't kidding.
That's a lot.
There's a lot.
I hit the ground running.
Right.
Yeah. So we got about 50 seconds left, and we're gonna go on the FM. Amanda, how have you been doing?
Good.
I'm excited to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here.
Mm-hmm. When is the next, the next meeting? Because there was like a monthly one, and I think we got through the school year.
Yes. So we won't meet again until August, and I think it's August 24th.
Okay.
Don't quote me.
August 24th. There's something going on the 23rd. We just talked about it yesterday.
Let's see.
It's with the Tech City Lamarck Chamber.
Oh, it's August 22nd. I was wrong.
Okay, so that would be a Friday. Oh, it's that was
Ours
the
is a Thursday.
The shrimp boil.
Okay.
The shrimp boil I was thinking of. Okay. Hey, what's up, Colleen? Colleen Merritt and my mom just tuned in. How are you guys doing?
Hi, Gardy's mom.
Here we go. We got 5 seconds, and we're going on right now. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. My name is Gardy.
And I am Chevy.
And it is 9:02. We're talking to the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families about all the events they have going on. Right now it's summer, and I think that is almost is it like a relaxing point, if there is a relaxing point for the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families?
I would say not this summer in particular, because we moved. And so that's been quite an undertaking, just getting our our space set up and ready to go. And we have, because Dancing with the Stars is in September, there's so much. So we have rehearsals every weekend and lots to do there. Plus we're working on a project with the city of Webster for next week. And so it's been a pretty busy summer, but good, very good.
That's good. Hey, can you introduce your friend next to us? We just talked to him a little bit on Facebook, but I believe he's one of the contestants in Dancing with Stars.
This is Jonathan Cottrell, and he was actually the first dancer chosen for this year's cast of stars. And he's dancing with his partner, Rebecca Lilly, from Memorial Herman Southeast. And we're super excited to have him. I think they're having a good time.
Jonathan, are you excited? Are you a dancer?
I'm not. I'm not. I'm a dancer in my house. I'm a singer in my car. But I'm not a dancer by any means, but I am loving it.
What can the people look for? Like, what's your strong dance that you're going to set that floor on fire with?
Hopefully they look at it like I see myself, which is being smooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So. What kind of dance are y'all doing? I forgot.
It's more of a slow embrace kind of dance.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And y'all are dancing to Shallow, right? Oh,
we're giving away too much.
My bad.
Those are teasers. She's throwing them out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, we are.
Who's instructing? Who's teaching the dances?
Well, it's actually a couple. Their name Daniel and Mariel Blaine, and they actually own the Fred Astaire Studios in Pearland. And so they choreographed last year, and they're back to do it again. And it's been really great. I think they're fun to work with. They're totally different. They're opposites. So it's kind of interesting to see each of their techniques as they teach our novices.
Mm-hmm. So Dancing with the Stars, if somebody's never heard of it or even seen, the show on ABC or whatever network, this is a local version. Can you explain, I guess, the setup and, if this is what this is benefiting?
Well, so it is a little bit different than the television show because instead of having one professional dancer and one amateur, we have two amateurs dancing together. So we have 6 couples. They're all local people in our community, and they're coming together. They're rehearsing with the choreographers, and they'll all take the stage on September 7th at South Shore Harbor Resort, and all of the proceeds benefit the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families.
If somebody, so Chevy and me were talking yesterday, he was like, so who's coming in? I said, Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families. And I was trying to explain, what you do and how long y'all have been doing it. So for Chevy, I know you have some questions. What are the first things that come to your mind whenever you think of that?
Can I tell them the story? I said, what do they do? And Gardy's like, I don't know. They work with like teenagers and drugs. And I'm like, so they teach teenagers how to do drugs? And he's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. So I want to know what you do and how long you've been doing it and why, of everything you can do in the world, did you set foot going into this?
Well, the Bay Area Alliance is a community coalition, and our primary goal is to help kids make good decisions, especially when it comes to drugs and alcohol.
Awesome.
And so we've been in existence since 2003. I've been here since 2010, but I've been working in community coalitions like this for better part of 15, 16 years. And the reason I do it is I believe that it's important to give kids permission to make good choices, because sometimes I think they have the false sense that everybody is doing drugs or alcohol and that they should follow suit. I have 2 brothers who are actually in recovery from substance abuse, and I feel a strong passion to show kids that there is such a different way that doesn't include drugs and alcohol.
That's amazing. Can you remember a point in your life that you were like, this is what I want to do? I want to dedicate my life to this.
No, but I'll tell you, like my family would tell you this for sure, is that I've been an activist since I was, 3 probably. Whether it was saving the whales or the pandas, or when I was in high school, it was in the midst of the HIV crisis. And so I was telling my, fellow classmates, guys, this is serious. And I was working with a local AIDS foundation in my community. I have spent time overseas doing some similar projects. I mean, I just believe in fighting for the underdog.
Yeah.
Always.
So this isn't just like a job for you. It's a
No,
passion.
no,
Yeah,
it's definitely just something that I really love to do.
Jonathan, was it easy for you to say yes? Whenever you were
Yeah.
asked, the first person, you were like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll do it, or like, let me think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. There was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to do it, and I actually was there last year for the very first year, and of course, knowing what Amanda and the Alliance does for the community, anything I can do to help fundraise for it, and which includes me getting out on a dance floor, possibly embarrassing myself, was definitely willing to do it. But we partner in the community on so many things, and I think reaching out to guys like myself who are very involved in the community helps with exposure, and what they do and what they believe in is very important to the community.
The coolest thing about the voting process is it's open, and you can start voting now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that correct? How can
is.
somebody start voting?
Actually,
Text Team 1.
Yes.
Only Team 1, yeah.
So Jonathan happens to be Team 1, if you can
There you
imagine.
go.
So what you do is you text the number of the couple you want to vote for
example,
to 281-853-9041. So you just type in the number, and then it kind of leads you through the process of recording your vote. So each vote is $1. And again, all those proceeds go to the Alliance. But Team 1 is Jonathan Cottrell and Rebecca Lilly. Team 2 is Jim Sweeney. He owns Minuteman Press in Clear Lake. And then Paige Rander. She is one of our board of trustees for Clear Creek ISD. Team 3 is Kelly Mooney. She is the principal at Ross Elementary School in Lake City. And Lou Davila, who owns Lou's Barbershops. And then Team 4 is Kimberly Harding. She's a local realtor. And Iwante Curry, he's a social media influencer. Team 5 is Trish Hanks, who was the former superintendent for Friendswood ISD, and now she's on Friendswood City Council. She's dancing with Bo Rogers, who is the police chief for the city of Webster, and happens to be the husband of last year's winner, Mayor Donna Rogers. And then last but not least, certainly not least, is Team 6. And that's Mean Gene Hill. He is a professional boxer out of Dickinson, and he's dancing with Jan Lehman, who is an insurance agent in League City. So
how hard was? So you're going to these people, and you're like, look, we need to really help the families and these kids off of drugs. And most people are like, oh, they're going to ask me for money, and you're like, so this is what I need from you. I need you to put on some tap shoes and get on this dance floor to change the community. How hard was it to get these people?
They're all just really great sports. And,
awesome.
I won't tell you that we didn't have a few no's, because we did have a few no's. But these folks, I won't say that some of them don't still have a little fear and trepidation as they go through the process. But they were just all really gracious, because it's a lot of time that they're investing, because they're rehearsing every week, plus they're working on costumes and shoes, and then also trying to promote being voted for on social media and things like that. So it was definitely obviously a labor of love, and it's from people who love our community.
It's amazing.
So this is a really cool fundraiser. Can we talk about some of the, I guess, where these proceeds go? Because the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families puts on these events for kids throughout the year.
Well, like one of the things that we do is the prevention of prescription drug misuse and abuse. And so one of the things we're doing next week, we're partnering with the city of Webster. They've put in a permanent drop box where people can bring their old expired medications. So we'll be sort of doing a ribbon cutting and a big kickoff for that. So we'll do a lot of promotion, because we have 2 local drop boxes, one in Webster and one in Nassau Bay. And so that's one of the things. We also do medication take back events. We're at 8 locations twice a year where people can just drive through, drop off their medications, and go on with their day. And we've collected well over 21,000 pounds of medications just through the drop off events, not including the drop boxes.
Is there a big crisis with young people and finding prescription medication?
I think there's a crisis not just with young people. I think prescription drug abuse knows no bounds. I'll be honest with you. I had a conversation. A community member called me yesterday because a family member is having a really big struggle with prescription drug abuse, and it's an older person. And there are lots of new studies out that are showing that some of the trends are showing that senior citizens are struggling more with prescription drug misuse and abuse than even young people. So it knows no age. Mm-hmm.
Is there a good way to bring that up? Like if you have a family member that you're concerned about, that can be very touchy and cause all kinds of issues, I feel.
And that was the conversation that we had last night. So we just kind of talked through what I did with this person was we kind of talked through what medications they knew this person was taking. We identified that quite a few of them had acetaminophen in them, and acetaminophen can cause liver toxicity. So when you combine that with alcohol, which is another issue that we find with seniors, then you're really putting a lot of pressure on that liver. And so sometimes when you can use some of that factual information, that's good. And then we also talked about some of the reasons that we can encourage people to quit or to change their patterns of behavior. So maybe it's grandchildren, maybe it's a trip they have, or a 50th anniversary or a 60th anniversary party coming up. And so giving people reasons to make a choice or a change, I think that that's really important too.
We hear like the guys coming up next after you guys are wrestlers, and so I happen to know a lot of them, and you always hear these stories of you're doing something that's beating your body every day, and it starts off innocent, like, oh, I sprained this or I hurt this. I'm taking these pain pills. I hear it about masons, guys who lay bricks, construction workers, everyday thing. What are some signs that you would say that if you have a family member that's in one of these, these jobs that are put tons of constraint on their body, they're start off with, some pills here and there to get through the day, to wake up, to get up in the morning. What are some signs that you'd say would you'd see for people to look out for? So
I'll be honest. That is one of my brothers. He developed a prescription drug problem because he had a back injury, and he's a pipeline inspector. And so the doctor prescribed him medication, and he began to take it. So I think helping your loved one monitor that medication. So if you're running out of the prescriptions too quickly, I think that is definitely a sign, because then what do you do next? And you start to see signs of panic, like lots of mood changes, mood swings. That happens when you have an issue. Something is crazy, like if you live with somebody, but like opioids tend to cause crazy constipation. And so like it can cause stomach issues and things like that may not be normal. It's really, it's sad, because I think we have a misconception. A physician wrote me this prescription, it must be okay. But I think most of those physicians are expecting you to use it appropriately. And thankfully, a lot of our physicians are getting the message. We don't need to write a prescription for 60 hydrocodone. You can do 15 at a time. And I think those are the new prescribing norms that we're really trying to push. But then there are some physicians out there who you go in, you say, my back hurts, and they'll give you 90 Soma, 90 Vicodin, and 90 Xanax, tell you to go to their pharmacy, pay me $200 under the table, and we're good.
Do you have, like, say somebody's seen these signs in a person, can they come to you guys and maybe you can help guide them into something? Hey, instead of the prescription drugs, we can maybe send you to this physical therapist or this or that. Are y'all connected on that level?
Well, I'm not a therapist, okay. So I don't feel adequate. Like, right. I can help families who are trying to find resources, and so that's what I did last night. I gave them some resources of folks that we know who are professionals to really help them find their path forward. But yeah, we're happy to be a resource, because that's what we do. We're a community coalition, so
it's a step in the right direction for sure.
Yeah, and we know other people who can get you to the right place. Yeah.
Right now it's 9:17. This is KHEARadio.com 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. We're going to be on till 11 a.m. We're talking to the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families about Dancing with the Stars. We're also talking about everything else going on with the coalition and the organization. Jonathan, you mentioned you have some daughters, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I like that the Bay Area Alliance does is a campaign called Be the Reason, and being an example, like being a good father, being a good parent, being like, hey, you don't need to, like, I'm not going to say, hey, well, you can do it at home. Like, oh, yeah, get some alcohol. And is that something that you kind of relate to, being a dad, trying to be a good example, being the reason why they don't need to go and explore some of these routes?
Yeah, my so I went to Texas A&M, and my very first semester.
Me too. Mm.
In my very first semester there, the parking tag said "Lead by example," and so I think that goes true with Be the Reason. With 3 daughters, I encourage them to basically be empowered, to have a voice, to stand up for themselves, to let them know that it's okay to say no or to speak up about something. We all are given these opportunities, and we all have can make that choice. So with my involvement, whether it's with education, philanthropy across the board, I'm all about where we live, work, and play, and I want to make it good for everybody. And as much as I can do to help my kids and the community is what I do. So that leading by example is something I've taken very seriously for a very long time.
Jonathan, you're also a realtor, right?
Yes.
Did you help Bay Area Alliance find those new offices?
No.
Way to bring that up.
Thankfully, no. Thankfully,
Oh, no. We know how realtors are. It's cutthroat. It's cutthroat in this area.
We're actually a department of Clear Creek ISD, and they just transformed the old Clear Lake High School 9th grade campus into admin offices, and so they opened one of those for us, and it's nice because it's bigger than our old space, and they just fit it to our needs perfectly. So actually, no realtors were involved in the making of
She's
our
like,
new
look, I didn't hurt
office.
anybody's feelings.
My feelings are not hurt. I represent a lot of local businesses with finding new locations, whether it's land or buildings. I currently have a church under contract that's buying their new home, and so partnering with people in the community to find those homes, being commercial or even residential, is something I take pride in.
I do not like moving. Moving is not fun.
It's the worst.
It's not fun. How'd it go for you guys?
Well, we had an amazing because the district hired some movers who came in, and they were really great to work with. But just finding everything again.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. We're getting there.
All right. Also being in real estate, what do you see happening, in our area, League City all the way down to Galveston? We're excited about the growth that's already taking place, and even the road construction, what that's going to lead to our area.
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, League City is only 50% built out, and people have a hard time believing that. And I've lived here since 518 was only 2 lanes. I first moved to Countryside back in the early 80s, and so I've seen that growth over almost 40 years. And there's just a lot of new growth to come. We'll have the new bypass or the Grand Parkway. That's going to come through right between League City and Dickinson as well. So there's just developments that haven't even started to break ground. In real estate on the residential side, new construction's great. New construction hurts resale values, but right now it's a buyer's market. There are a plethora of homes out there, and we went a time when we didn't have a whole lot of new construction options. Westover Park popped up, Westwood popped up, Magnolia Creek's now building new again, Hidden Lakes. So all through League City now we have a lot of new construction options, and of course there's the ripple effect that affects the resale homes as well. But there's a lot of homes on the market. I think we're about 3 times as many as last year at this time.
You mentioned buyer's market. That just means that there's a lot of options for people to buy,
and
which makes the rates kind of, the price, I guess, competitive whenever you're pricing your home. Is that what?
Yeah. In a buyer's market, the buyers are pretty much in charge of that negotiation from that aspect of having all of the options. And sellers, they're, for those 10 buyers that are out there, you're hoping one of them likes your house because those 10 buyers actually have 100 options, and you hope to be that one for them. So when those buyers do get under contract on that house, I hate to tell every seller out there, but they're going to be willing to do pretty much anything to save that contract.
It's kind of a song and dance, which kind of directly connects to the Dancing with the Stars.
That was
so you can kind of go back and forth there, right?
Yeah. I have to tiptoe a lot in my business.
So you've been training for this a really long time.
Mentally and emotionally, I've been training for years.
Right. Let me ask you this, kind of taking it back. How old are your daughters, if you don't mind me asking?
So 6, 11, and 16.
Okay.
So I'll have one in elementary, one in intermediate, and one in high school.
All across the gamut.
Yeah, 5 years apart.
That's a trifecta. Dude, how's life at your house?
Yeah.
I have a daughter that's 2 and she runs the house.
Yeah. So for example, last night about 8:45 at night, my 6-year-old decides she wants to dance, And so everybody pauses the TV and we sit there on the couches. Yeah, and she starts singing and dancing, and about 3 songs later, we're going, okay, great job. All right, so all right, it's bedtime, but my house is like that. And then actually we went from there, and she said, can we go play the Wii? And we still have a Wii, and they love Mario Kart. So I said, all right, we'll play 4 games and then go to bed. So, but
those 4 games turn
house.
into 16 games.
Actually, they hand me the remote after the 4, and they go, now we want to watch you play it, Daddy, because I win. And so, like, Daddy's good.
It's like a conquest thing. Like, you reach a certain point in your house. If they beat you, then they've leveled up kind of in the household. I like that.
Or win me another car, win me another character. And so they hand me the remote, and
how's a teenage life with the daughter?
Oh, wow. Well, the last year has been a roller coaster, to say the least, because, of course, when they're in that 15, 16, they're exploring, and boyfriends, girlfriends, they're going to the movies, they're going to the beach, they're doing things with their friends. So it definitely has that learning curve. And then,
and she's a beautiful girl, so that is
dangerous. Thank you.
Yeah, very dangerous.
Yeah, I've taken her out and taken her to some of our galas and events. All of my daughters were in a fashion show that the Education Foundation puts on. They've been in the last couple of years, and so. But yeah, it's definitely one of those where you need to, you got to keep them close.
Mm-hmm. Right. I have 4 boys, so I don't know what you're talking about. Everything in my house is broken right
keep
now.
Keep them far away.
But when they're teenagers, I don't have as much to worry about.
Yeah. No, I have makeup brushes laying all over my house, and. Yeah, it's not quite the same.
Oh, I know. I'm a sucker, man. Little girl, my nieces or our friends' daughters come, they bat their eyes, and I'm like, whatever you want. Like, I don't even care what your parents said. Here's a popsicle, like whatever, And my wife's constantly like, that's why you can't have a daughter. And like, I know, I'm a sucker. I couldn't even handle all that.
Yeah,
so.
Going shopping or even grocery shopping with my girls is hard to do. But, I sent 2 of them off yesterday. I said, girls, we're going to divide and conquer, and we're going to get this done in like 10 minutes. And they're coming back going, can we have these? And here's some, can I have this ice cream? And they bat their eyes and, okay.
I keep seeing that meme float around, like having a daughter is like having a little poor best friend that thinks you're rich or something.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. So.
I was driving home the other day, and my wife had texted me, and I immediately called her. She's like, hey, can you buy this slide for our daughter? And I was like, man, a slide? Honestly, to be honest, I was like, I don't want to buy a slide. Like, okay. And then I called her, and I heard my daughter on the Bluetooth. She was like, Daddy, can I have a slide? I was like, yes. Yeah.
Done.
Wait for me. I'm going to get in the car. I'll buy you whatever you want. We'll go get a slide.
Gardy comes home with 2 slides, like, just in case. Like, you never know.
I'll just be a human slide. And I'll just you just slide on my back. You just go. So there's a lot of stuff that we have going on today. We have Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families in studio right now talking about Dancing with the Stars. This is the second annual. The first one, and I've learned this, it's the inaugural, right?
Inaugural, yeah.
Because sometimes that's a touchy subject. It's the inaugural. If you say the first annual, it's like, no, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
So this is the second one.
Yep.
The first one looked like it was awesome and a very big success, right?
Mm-hmm. It was beyond what we thought it would be, for sure, yeah.
So it's a really cool tradition that started, and it's going to be at South Shore Harbor Resort. Why did y'all pick that location, which is beautiful? But what about that spot put y'all in?
Well, a couple of things. They're large enough to accommodate us, but Roy Green and his team at South Shore are just so community-minded, and they understand the importance of what we're doing. They're members of the Alliance, and Roy, from the beginning, when I had the idea, I went to him and said, okay, what do you think? Be honest with me. And he was like, I think this could work. And he brainstormed with us, and, Bridget and their whole team just really worked with us to figure out how to really make it the best event we could make it. Mm-hmm. So,
where did this idea come from? I know the show, obviously, but where were you? Tell me the story. How did this come about?
Well, my brain never shuts off. So my staff get lots of emails at like 2:00 in the morning, and this was one of those. And fundraising is a challenge. I met with a good friend of mine who's been in fundraising for nonprofits for a long time, and has just moved to a different position where she's no longer fundraising. And we were talking yesterday at lunch about it is such a challenge. And we have a community that's super giving, but we have lots of nonprofits that are all sort of battling for the same pot of funds. And the Alliance, although we've been in existence since 2003, we've only had our own nonprofit status since 2012. And before I got here, they'd never raised money. They'd only written grants. And so it's really hard to join the fundraising world brand new. And so trying to come up with something unique and different and something that wasn't happening here. So that's kind of just how it was.
So this is
born.
year 2, right? Y'all
Year
said.
2. Mm-hmm.
So tell me, year 1, were there any times when you were like, "This was the worst idea I've ever had"?
We made a mistake.
Like, I'm out. Like,
These dancers are horrible.
I'll be honest. No, it was pretty amazing how it just happened. We chose well when we found Mariel and Daniel to choreograph, because my original vision was to have a dance studio sponsor each couple, and so you'd have 6 different choreographers, and it just didn't work. But Mariel and Daniel have been really great. They got the vision. They're really easy to work with, and I think that they are a huge reason why our dancers have enjoyed the process, because they're fun. And I mean, there were times I thought, I don't know how we're going to do this, but it was an amazing experience.
so it's the first night. We're going back to the first one. It's over. Everything went down. How did you feel?
Oh, I was over the moon. Everybody was so positive. The turnout was great. The dancers had a ball. It was just, I knew it was a no-brainer that we would do it again.
Mm-hmm. Made me feel inspired.
Were you there at the first one?
Yeah.
Did you compete in the first one?
No. I was there with Doug Meisinger, and he competed, and just watching. And I think I knew all of the competitors that were out there. And I was like, it's about the cause. And I said, you know what? I want to do that. So
watching them, you said you were inspired. We were like, I could have done better than every single one of those people out there. Put me in, coach. Like, Amanda, you're 2, right? I'm number 1 option, draft pick. Is that kind of how that happened?
No. So my personality, I'm one of these guys that I've been skydiving. And the first time, it was one of those things that say, I just want to put my life out there and just, take a chance. And dancing in front of 300, 400, 500 people is not something I ever wished to do. It's nothing I would wish on my biggest enemies. But being there last year and the energy in the room and the excitement, it just made me feel inspired to get out there and do it too. And again, it's about the cause. She was talking about fundraising and how difficult it is, and I'm the chairman of an organization. We are competing for a lot of the same dollars, but we all have different causes, and they're all noble and they're all important. And luckily for us, I think we kind of rise to the top whenever we are speaking with these people about our cause. Mm-hmm. And so seeing last year happen was definitely one of those times where I said, you know what, I think I'd like to get out there and take this chance.
There's another event that y'all do is earlier in the year. What is that event? Is it on the road? On the
road for a reason.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, Dance with Stars has been so successful. Our board at our retreat on August the 8th will determine if we'll do it again next year or if we'll put all of our energies into Dancing with the Stars. Because it's a balance. For us, we are more of a service organization, and so if all of our eggs or if all of our time and energy is spent fundraising, then it's sort of, we got to find the balance. Mm-hmm. And so we'll kind of look at that and see.
So I see Jamie tuned in.
All right. Hey, Jamie.
She's awesome. I feel like we're like best friends now, right? But she recently received an award.
Best friend.
Well, okay, you're probably right, but I feel like, can I just feel like that? She's literally here.
Sure. Okay.
But she received an award at the Bay Area Alliance
annual meeting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What award was that?
Volunteer of the Year. Jamie is, she is up for anything. And what I love about it is we have actually a few members of our board who are all in their mid-20s. And I think it's been really exciting to see their energy. And I love that we are sort of grooming the next generation of influencers because they will be the ones that will serve on Clear Creek Education Foundation and the Bay Area Alliance and communities and schools. And so it's been great to have people like Jamie, who is social media much more in tune to that than I am. So thankfully, she handles most of our social media, and she's just been a great asset.
Yeah. Last time I talked to her in person, she mentioned bringing a Rotaract, a program. That's not the right way to call it, but to our area, and that focuses on young
next
people.
Week.
Yeah, just being able to volunteer and have a way to get involved, which is really it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
because we need that. We need that for sure. It's 9:32. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. This is Kickstart. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna keep talking to the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families. I hit that cue. Did y'all hear that in y'all's?
Well, yeah, we heard it.
I was like, whoa. Sorry. My board finger slipped. Yes. So Jamie, she does these vendor markets that we've seen. That's really cool.
I went last weekend and found this couple, and they make their own jellies, and it was amazing, by the way. So I bought some. I'm taking it to an event this weekend, but I was talking to him. I'm hosting a retreat this weekend of foster families.
Awesome.
We're working on foster care reform in Texas. So we've got 2 years before the next legislative session. So we're trying to get our act together.
What does that
Is that
mean
with
exactly?
the Alliance?
No, this is just me. I was a foster parent. I work for CPS. I feel very strongly that there needs to be change in our system. And so I found some like-minded foster moms, and we're going to meet together this weekend and focus on that. And he starts telling me he was a foster kid, and he was adopted at age 7. And, it was just really, it's crazy how that's kind of why I like
the jelly makers. You're
jelly
saying?
maker. Just in the course of conversation, we had this conversation that he was a foster kid,
awesome.
and I was like, well, I was a foster mom, and we kind of had that conversation about the broken system.
What kind of reform is needed?
Oh. Do you have another hour?
I got 26 minutes.
I think we have there are a lot of things that are needed. One is I think that we need to identify foster parents' rights. Right now, foster parents have no rights. They have no voice. And you're talking about the people who live day in and day out with these children. And I think that there needs to be more understanding of their role. And I have been in courtrooms with judges who have refused to listen. There have been judges in Harris County who have refused to let single moms be foster parents, who have refused to, I believe that anyone who is good, well-intentioned, that isn't doing it for any kind of money or financial gain, they should be allowed to foster. We have kids who are seriously sitting in CPS offices because there's no place to go. We have kids who are in shelters. I had a sibling group of 3 come live with me, and I got the girls first, and in 3 months, I was their 5th foster home. And all the foster homes they had lived in were just unacceptable. They didn't receive 1 stitch of new clothing in that time. And we're talking not even new panties, like used underwear is not acceptable. It's not acceptable because foster parents are given the resources not to go to Neiman Marcus, but you can go to Walmart or Target or Kohl's and buy clothes. We did a lot of resale shopping. And the stories that these children have shared with me make me sick to my stomach. And we have to do better for kids.
How was it at first? Was there like a big trust issue coming into your
You know what?
space?
Like, I'm just no.
It's awesome.
But I'm a single mom. I don't have other kids. So they get to kind of set their own pace. I did have a teenager, and that was a little bit more of a challenge. But trauma impacts kids beyond what we can imagine. And we're finding out more and more how trauma impacts kids, and our standard methods of parenting don't work with kids who have experienced great amounts of trauma. And I think that we need trauma-informed care needs to be a priority. but recruiting good foster parents, because we're losing good foster parents like crazy.
You know, a lot of time people see things that are going on in the world that they don't agree with, but you get on social media and you just like say something, or you just talk, you know, negatively about it. How did you know, like, hey, this is what I need to do to be able to actually get real change?
That's good.
Well, thankfully, in what I do, that's what community coalitions are designed to do, is advocacy. So it's not lobbying. It's really just educating decision makers and policymakers about certain situations, whether that's I worked a lot with the legislature, back in 2010, when we were trying to make give Texas a real-time reporting database for prescription drugs, because we did not have one of those. So I think that has taught me a lot about the impact of the people we vote into office, and we have to make them aware, because they're the ones who are making the decisions and setting the policies that govern things like the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services.
So I'll say this too, is that some of the advice I got probably 30 years ago, I guess, was surround yourself with like-minded people. And that makes a huge difference in what you do and in your life. And we are in a group of like-minded people, and it's a very big group, and it's a great group. One of our trustee friends who recently passed away, when everything happened in Santa Fe, there was all this against school violence. You know, there was a website, a group, and then all they were about were just against school violence. And I met with him one day, and I said, how can we turn this around and make something positive? He said, tell everybody, don't tell us what you're against, but tell us what you're for. And just that one little just change of mind, if you shift that thinking, just speaks volumes. Because then every time somebody would contact me, because I think we're in those positions where people reach out to us and say, hey, we don't like this. Hey, we do like this. What can we do? And so I was being asked often to sit in meetings or to arrange meetings because somebody was against school violence. And I would go into explaining them. I said, the first thing is, don't come into the meeting, tell me what you're against, tell me what you're for. And, oh, okay. Because that going into the meeting with that mindset just changed the air in the room.
Yeah, the energy.
Yeah, it changes the energy completely. And so with her passion to helping foster kids and things like that, I'm sure a lot of it comes from who she surrounds herself with. And that mindset. Yeah,
it's a shift. It's a mindset shift.
It's a simple shift.
Well, and
people just have to make it.
You know, he brought up our friend Chris Reed, and I just think that is something. I was called by one of the newspapers to give a quote or something about him, and I think the thing that stood out to me most about him is he wasn't content to talk about situations or problems. Okay, well, let's fix it. I mean, because we can whine all day long, but we've got to get up off our chairs and behind our screens and actually try to make a difference.
Right. Work to a solution. Let's not complain and just beat the dead horse on the problem. And again, beating the dead horse about what you're against. Well, you know what? I'm against that too. But you know what? Let's talk about what we're for, because that's where we're going to find our path to success.
Yeah, bringing real solutions to the table that can be worked together.
And it happens with me in real estate all the time. People come to me, buyers and sellers and other agents come to me, and I first thing I say to them when they start griping is, all right, so what's your solution? Have you thought about that? Have you come to me with that solution? It's great, we're going to address the problem, but I also want to have your opinion on a solution. And it's really just challenging people to just quit beating the dead horse, quit complaining, and let's find that solution.
Yeah.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Right. And that's a slogan around here, be the good. And I can't even imagine how much of a difference you make in somebody's life by shaking their hand, looking them in the eye, saying hi to people who just from the CEO to the person, the janitor, it doesn't matter who they are, but just even that little bit of, hey, how's it going?
Recognition.
I can't even imagine if that can change somebody's day, bringing somebody into your life that's maybe had a rougher life or come from a place of not feeling that love, how much of a difference you can make in somebody's life with the fostering. It's always been, real. When I hear foster, I hear adoption, it just kind of perks the ears up. And it's like, man, you don't even know the lives you can actually change, the world you can actually change around you. I know it's kind of silly, but I just saw that movie Instant Family. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and so it was it's a movie with Mark Wahlberg, and I can't remember the actress's name, but they can't have kids, or they're not having kids, so they end up going to adopt a baby. And as they go looking for these babies, they look over and there's just like a lawn full of teenagers, knowing they're not going to get adopted, not caring about this adoption day. And they go, you know what? That's the one I want. And they take the teenager, and that teenager happens to come with the sibling group of little brothers and sisters. And so they take on 3 kids as opposed to the one. It's a movie, of course, but there's chaos. Chaos erupts. But at the end of the day, everybody grows, learns, loves.
I was a parent of 3 siblings, and chaos does erupt. So I'll be honest with you, I was outnumbered.
So it's really a documentary on. No.
Oh man, it was.
The Amanda
amazing.
McLaughlin story. Hey,
can I choose who gets to play me? Sandra Bullock would be great.
Oh, yeah, she's a good actress.
Yeah,
Hey, Jamie mentioned that you also foster dogs. You nurse them back to health and then allow them to be adopted. What else do you do?
In fact, I have a puppy that I got that I've been fostering, and a family came and took her for the weekend. They came and got her yesterday, so fingers crossed that they love her and she loves them, and it's a great fit.
I thought you were about to pull the dog out your purse. Actually, I have a dog I foster. He's here today, and he would like to say hello if anybody would like to adopt him. And we got 10 seconds. We're going to go on the FM again right now and chat for a bit. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. That was Bethel in Over My Head. This is Kickstart. I'm Gardy.
I'm Chevy.
It's 9:44 a.m. on a Thursday morning, and we are excited to have the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families in studio. We've been talking about a little bit of everything, and y'all have a lot going on. Jonathan, you have a lot going on as well, including being a participant, a contestant in Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, woo, team 1.
Yeah, so you're team 1. Who's your friend or who
My
you dancing with? Yeah, partner.
Rebecca Lilly. Yeah. She's with Memorial Hermann, and she's amazing, and she and I serve the community in many different boards and capacities, and so we've been friends for a very long time. And, Daniel, one of the things we were talking about earlier was how great these coaches, these instructors are. When they're practicing with you and they're leading you, you feel like you're a professional. They just have a way of moving you, whether it's the hand on the hip and they spin you right or they whip your arm this way. All of a sudden, you're like, I got this. But then Rebecca and I start going, and it's back to being novice. It's back to just amateurville. But we're loving it. We're having a blast, and every week we practice, and it's fun. I practice my dance routine with my daughters. All 3 of them want to take a turn, so I get extra practice there at home with them. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm a local photographer, and I was maybe a few months ago shooting this wedding, and there was this one couple on the dance floor, and you could tell they were like tearing, spin. It was country, that spin,
Right.
and he started spinning. He was a big old boy too. I never seen a guy that big move like that. I was like, man, come on! And so spin, and I'm watching as the night goes on. I don't know if there was drinks in the air. I'm not sure, but spin for hours. I mean, just putting everybody to shame. All of a sudden, I look up, and this girl goes flying into some tables. I don't know if he went to dip her and missed. I don't know the whole deal, but and she just pops back up like, it happens all the time, and it was so. On that note, I mean,
that will not happen at
dance-related injuries. Well, I mean, that could draw a crowd, though. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we do spin each other, and we do have certain moves where you have to trust that person you're dancing with. And again, we're amateurs. And there's certain moves that I know that Rebecca and I are making that she just has to trust me. And I tell her constantly, I won't drop you. I promise I won't drop you. And so, yeah, it's challenging.
We're not throwing out spoilers, but there could or quite possibly or not possibly be a Dirty Dancing lift. Maybe, we're not saying it could be there. Know. You have to show up. You have to buy some tickets to check it out or whatever you got to do. And you could be the liftee or the lifter. We don't know, Mr. Jonathan.
You never know.
Could be soaring through the air like an eagle.
Does that work to your advantage, being familiar with Rebecca, having known her for a while, or would you rather have? I mean, I'm sure she's a great partner, but sometimes that can be awkward. It's like, well, we're friends and we work professionally. Now we're dancing.
Right.
It might be better to do it with stranger. I don't know.
Yeah, I can tell you it's both ways. I think it's both ways. I think if I was with that stranger, having the dance that we have and everything, yeah, it could probably get a little bit uncomfortable maybe some of the times and everything. But I know, like, Rebecca and I were inches away from each other's nose, looking each other in the eyes and everything, and we're in sync. So
chemistry.
It's good. Yeah,
That's
you
cool.
have to have it.
But really, like, most of our dancers did not know each other before.
Yeah,
this.
we got lucky.
And it's just, last year, the couples that danced together, that was one of their favorite parts, was they got to know someone new, and they really connected. And most of them are still, well, not most. They're all still friends. They all keep in touch. And not everybody has the slow dance like we're doing this year. I think we have 2 slow dances and 4 fast dances.
Any break dance and hip hop. Ooh, maybe some worm.
I don't even know. I've seen
the worm.
There's one couple I have not even seen them dance yet because they have rehearsals when I haven't been able to make it. But so far we've got a jive and a cha-cha and a rumba.
Will you be making a surprise entry?
No.
At the end, somebody twists an ankle in the middle of the show, and you just come flying in from the other side of the dance floor.
I think that's what Mariel, the professional, is for. No,
okay.
I'm actually going to MC this year with Doug Meisinger, who was one of our contestants last year. So I'll just assume my emceeing capacity there.
For now, it's going to be one of those Winter Olympics things, like the ice skaters. Like, what is Amanda doing with a hockey stick? And someone back there like twisted an ankle somehow. She's like, I just happen to have my gown on and just like plug me in. I know this dance.
Homie Jonathan.
Right.
Let's do this.
Hey, is Mean Gene Hill? Is he the favorite? Whenever I watch Dancing with the Stars, it's like the gymnasts sometimes have a little bit of an edge, and the professional football players because they have the footwork. Right. And a boxer has some of the best footwork just naturally, and then they train for it.
He's really fun to watch, and I think he and Jan definitely. Well, they may have one of the cutest routines. I'll just put it that way. Boxing is definitely part of their routine. There's
cool.
my sneak peek.
A little teaser. I like him throwing him out there.
She pulls out some
Hooking the crowd.
pads, and he's doing some combos.
It's really
he knocks around.
It's so funny because I think like the fact that his name is Mean Gene Hill, and then you get to know him, and you're like, where did Mean come from?
Right.
Like, he is such a teddy bear. He's such a great guy.
I think when you're a boxer, Mean Gene works better than Clean Gene. You know what I'm saying? You
I
have to
know.
have
Nice
that.
Gene.
So I bet he's very mean in the boxing ring.
Gene, the teddy bear Hill.
Yeah.
And everybody has teddy bears in the crowd, like
Just ripping heads off.
you
He's
can make it
incredible,
work.
and he like works out nonstop. He's constantly ready. Like, I think he could jump in the ring at any time, kind of thing. So
Got to be ready.
yeah.
Man. So right now it's 9:50. This is KHEA Radio.com, 99.5 FM. We're talking about Dancing with the Stars and everything else that's going on with the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families. Right now it's summer. Y'all just moved offices, and the next big event is Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, but we have a couple of other events coming up in the next few weeks. So next Thursday we have the ribbon cutting for the City of Webster, the Webster Police Department's permanent drop box. So we'll be out at Webster PD at 9 a.m. and the community's invited to come and celebrate this with us. And it's open and ready. So if you have some medications expired sitting in your cabinet, it's a perfect way to get rid of it. And then on the 24th, we have Clear Lake Area Chamber after hours that we're having a Boxer Properties on Space Park Drive from like 5 to 6:30. But you can find all that information. We're on Facebook and Instagram, so Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families or Dancing with the Stars Bay Area. So you can find out more about those events, but we'd love to have you join us.
Y'all have the 2 medication takebacks throughout the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had the opportunity to go hang out at the one at the police station
At Precinct 8, right?
by the beautiful library.
Yes, uh-huh.
With the permanent take-back boxes, is that something new for our area?
No, Nassau Bay, so go back to our friend Chris Reed. He was president of our board and came on about 2012. And I was talking to him about these medication takebacks. And he's like, Amanda, that's so dumb. Nobody's going to come. And I was like, no, really, they do. Like, because we'd had several of them. And so I said, please just come out and check it out. And he was just amazed at the volume of medication that came into that take back. And so he at the time was city manager of Nassau Bay, and they put in a permanent drop box. So that was the first one in our area. And so it's taken us a little while because there's a lot to it. You know, they have to be responsible for extra medication. So it means manpower, it means storage, it means paying for destruction. And so it's not easy for a law enforcement department to, especially because we have a lot of small ones around here, to commit to such a big project. So we're super excited to have our second one, and it's easy to access. And that way, if people can't make it to a take back, you know, but we still, even with permanent drop boxes, we still take in a lot through the take backs.
Yeah, you said 21,000 pounds?
21,000 pounds, over
21,000 pounds. So
it's crazy when you think about how much a pill weighs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to get involved with the Bay Area Alliance for Youth and Families or attend Dancing with the Stars, what's the best way for them to find out information about the event and then maybe even join? Because it's open, right?
Yeah. So I say probably the Facebook page would give you a lot of information. You can contact our office, 281-284-0370. Our website is ccisd.net/Bay Area Alliance. So I think that those are all good things. We actually are almost sold out. So we have a couple of tables left that South Shore was able to add in for us after we sold out, and we have a few seats. Wow. So if you do want to come, probably need to get your tickets pretty quickly. But we're also looking for silent auction items and things like that. So if you want to participate that way, we'd love to have those items, and of course voting. So go and get your vote on. Jonathan would appreciate if you'd type in that number one. But I'm sure our other couples would love to have your votes as well.
He's like, go, just test it out. Just test it out.
Yeah, see if it works.
To check. Yeah.
Number one.
It's like a mic check.
So, at any rate, it's such a fun experience, a fun event. If you want to have a lot of fun, I was afraid that it would be like, I get nervous. Like, I can't watch American Idol. Because especially those early ones, when there are people that really aren't very good,
that was my
get
favorite.
So
what are you trying to say about it?
Nervous.
Wait.
I can't handle it. So I thought that that's how I would feel, and I didn't. I mean, everybody was so, because nobody's rooting for them to fail. Everybody is so excited, and the mood and the energy is so positive, and it's just a great night.
Yeah. And surprised to see us actually be able to dance.
Yes.
But by that time, we've had 10, 12, 14, practices, and that surprise that, oh my gosh, he can actually. Now I can tell you,
good.
Yeah. But I can tell you, one of the dancers, Jim Sweeney, who's a good friend. I think I was one of his cheerleaders, telling, "Come on, you can do this." And because at every event I've watched him for years go to, he doesn't hesitate to get on the dance floor, and he doesn't disappoint. So I know he's good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share? Anything at all?
I know we touched on it a little bit. I just want to kind of throw out there, man, if you're out there and you have family members and you're seeing signs of maybe prescription abuse on drugs, you're just kind of even worried. Like, this is a resource for you to contact, and they can point you in the right direction of the things maybe you need to be looking out for, the things, somewhere to go to actually fix that. So I think that's amazing. Like you said, be the good, make a difference in the community.
Absolutely. And there's a way, like I don't have the quote exactly, but there's a quote that says that whether have your own children or not, we're all a parent to the next generation, and we have to start looking at it that way. We have to figure out how we can play a role, because there's a role for everybody. There's a role for everybody.
And be real quick, and as a realtor, be responsible with how you store these things.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know we did not touch on that, but as a parent of kids, how you store them, and whether you put them high or you lock them. As a realtor, if your house is on the market, that's one of those things to be responsible about, because people are opening cabinets, they're opening your refrigerators, they're looking around your house freely, and if you have meds, and who knows, not that people are bad, because at every price range it could happen, They open up a cabinet and there's an Oxycontin bottle sitting right there.
Right.
It just disappears. It gets in the wrong hands. So be responsible with that.
I like that. What's the name of? How can somebody get a hold of you for your real estate business?
So I'm the broker for Elizabethtown Properties, and if they want to reach out to me, my number is 832-368-4184, and or Facebook. That's always a good place to find me. Jonathan Cottrell or Elizabethtown Properties.
All right, Amanda, Jonathan, thank you for hanging out with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have two reality of wrestling superstars in studio. There may be some drama. I'm not sure. I'm actually a little bit nervous, Chevy.
I know. I like what's about to go down. Can we change their chairs out with the folding chairs? I think that would be a better solution.
Real radio.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know. I was like trying to make it work earlier. What even happened? My brother. Good meeting you.
Thank you,
See y'all
Amanda.
soon.
See ya.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
It's about to go down,
Thank you
Facebook.
so
I
much.
think so. So, Reality of Wrestling, if you're not familiar, is located in Texas City, what I like to call the beautiful Mall of the Mainland.
It's beautiful.
That it was branded and it was renamed.
And then back.
No,
yeah.
they changed the sign. They
Did
changed the
they?
sign. Yeah, over by Jack in the Box. If you're going towards Highway 3,
Yeah.
shops at the Mainland. Is Will
Did they?
Will out there? I saw him run by.
Yeah, I saw him go by. I mean,
You go talk
maybe
to Brendan.
maybe they're keeping separate for a reason. Maybe the animosity is so hot right now.
Yeah, just wait a little. Just tell him we'll bring him in a second.
You know,
So we got Brendan. I think Will is actually pacing on the other side.
Ooh.
I don't see any
the tension mounts.
any belts here, but Brendan has actually been on our program whenever it was Booker T's birthday. We went to the Reality of Wrestling World Gym Arena.
Yeah, I saw y'all.
And he came on and chatted with us. So I'm not sure if there's about to be some drama going on.
Look,
He's choking out Eldridge. He's choking out Eldridge.
good,
Oh, wait.
gotta teach him right. Teach him young.
So yeah, they're located in Texas City. Booker T is a legend, like a literal legend, 2-time Hall of Fame in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you can't. You mentioned Booker T in and out of wrestling. People light up. Especially down here, it's funny. Anytime I'm like, hey, you know Booker T, because I want to talk about the wrestling, letting people know there's a wrestling school. A lot of people still don't know, which is crazy because it's right there in this area, and everybody has a Booker T story. Oh, I was working at this restaurant. Booker T came in one time. And I was at the grocery store, and I saw Booker T, so I think it's funny.
Yeah, you can go ahead and bring Brendan in. You can bring him in, and
Oh, that we go one at a time. Is that it?
I don't know.
They're not even going. It's
Will's on the phone, but he's like staring down Brendan.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just wait for both of them. Tell them whenever they're ready, they can come in. If they want to come in one at a time or whatever. But yeah, dude, there's tension. Like I seriously feel something just
energy.
entered the room, and it may be Curt because he's commenting and said that his vacation's on hold. He hurt his back bending over. He's like,
I didn't mean to laugh that
Does
loud.
anybody see this? Curt said, well, first he said, so vacation on hold, back went out of place. And
like,
I said, what?
Is he in Florida?
Yeah. And he said, I hurt my back bending over.
If you're at your location, your vacation is not on hold.
Your vacation is in place. He's going to come back and be like, I need to go on another one. I need to go on a.
That one didn't count.
That's his style.
They asked about if they had to be in character or something like that.
I'll go talk to him.
Yeah, go.
What do you want? It doesn't matter?
Either or. In and out.
Okay.
In and out. Let's go. So, Michelle, hi. How are you doing? We are excited. We're broadcasting live from Lamarck. This is what we do every weekday morning, 8:30 to 11. We talk about local things that are taking place. KHEA Radio is located inside the campus of Abundant Life. If this is your first time to hang out with us, thank you so much. It's your new morning routine. This is the best way you can start your day. We like to spread a little bit of positivity. We stream live on Facebook. We also will post this later on YouTube. But then we are available on 99.5 FM in Galveston County or the KHEA Radio app. If you don't have it yet, go get the KHEA Radio app. It's easy. Look, I got two little icons on the screen. One just says KHEA Radio. All you got to do is go to your app store, go to the Google Play Store, and search KHEA, and we will pop up. Smash the download button. Get it, because there's a lot of awesome features, including a community calendar, which has one of our biggest events that I think we're ever going to do, our inaugural Taco Cook-Off taking place October the 12th. We're going to be doing a barbecue-style cook-off, and it is going to be featuring some of the best tacos in the world. So if you have some of the best tacos in the world, like you make them, or you know what restaurant makes them, or your grandma makes them, or your husband, your wife, your kids make them, or you have a cook-off team, we want you to be a participant. It's only $100 to entry. That's the entry fee to be able to participate and prove that you have the best tacos. $100 gets you 4 entries, 1 to beef, chicken, seafood, and open. The open can be like veggies, or maybe you do an unconventional taco, maybe like a taco salad, taco soup. I don't even know, but that's up to you. That is up to you to decide, and that is, so I'm already seeing some suggestions. Tacos El Flaco, where are they located? Let me know. Let me know where you can find those. But we're excited. We're about to be talking to 2 reality of wrestling superstars, Will Allday, Brendan Steen. Will has been in studio multiple times before, and he's awesome. I love Will. He has a huge crowd of support, including myself. Brendan, I had the opportunity to meet, and I have seen him wrestle. I've watched him do his thing in the ring over there at Reality of Wrestling, and it's always a great time. So let me know, what do you have going on? What kind of tacos do you enjoy? Crystal said, how much does it cost to eat all the tacos? That's a great question. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So we got it all figured out now. But with the Taco Cook-Off, how much does it cost to eat the tacos? That's an excellent question, actually. So we're going to allow people to sell tacos if they have the proper license. So if you want to be able to be a vendor, like you're a food truck, you want to participate, there's a fee.
I couldn't just bring my grandma.
No, you can bring your grandma,
right?
And your
to
grandma
sell
can
her
sell
tacos?
but she has to get the proper, the health permit. It's like you can get like a 1 day.
Okay.
So grandma can, and then that's all you got to do. So it's like a little bit of a fee you pay to the Galveston County Health Department to make sure you're properly good to go.
She can't just pull up and pull whatever out of her apron and be like, "Here's my tacos."
And from her house.
Yeah,
that's
from her house.
And it's the best food ever, right?
Right. It's like wrapped up in foil, just like. Mm-hmm. She has like warehouses full of foil for all her tacos.
So yeah, you can have the opportunity to eat the tacos, and if they want to sell them, they can. If they want to give them away, we're leaving that up to the person. So, like if grandma wants to come and she's like, "Yeah, I want to sell them for like $1 or 50 cents or a donation," and she has the proper.
If it's grandma,
license.
you're kind of like, I don't know, but if somebody's like, "Hey, my abuelita," then you're like, "Oh, I'm in."
Abuelita,
yeah.
And her hot chocolate. Abuelita's hot chocolate, October. It may be kind of like cool or chilly. Have some with a little marshmallow.
Right. So,
bring in Will, yeah.
You gonna grab
all day.
I'm like 1 day here. I'm ordering the intern around. I'm sorry,
intern,
bro.
Can you
I didn't mean.
We're gonna bring in.
He's the man.
Bring in Will. What's up, Pierre? What's up, Gracie? Hey guys, you want to be a taco judge? I feel you on that. Yes, Colleen. We have some of the rules. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up? Very well. How are you,
dude? It's good to see you.
Thanks for having me, man.
You've been busy
all day.
I have.
You've been busy traveling all over the state, traveling all over the world, wrestling, representing. You're out of Friendswood. You're from our area, representing what's going on here in our area, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I live in Houston now, but I'll forever rep Friendswood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, what's going on in the local wrestling scene?
Everything. I mean, Texas wrestling is really on fire right now. It's probably the next big bubble. I think it's where all the next big things are gonna
currently
start happening.
How many titles are you holding?
All of them.
I like that.
Yeah, except one.
Every one that ever existed.
Except one. I'm fighting for one this weekend, Saturday in Texas City.
What do you predict? You gonna walk away with that?
I predict a hard-fought, beaten, battered, and bruised victory, though.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I like that.
Yeah, I'm fighting for the TV title here at Reality of Wrestling.
It was on Twitch, right? The last Impact thing y'all did. Can we talk about it? It's out in the world.
Yeah.
We can talk about it. How did you feel stepping into the ring with some Impact guys? If you don't know, Impact's another more nationally known promotion.
Yeah.
So
no, it for the longest time it was like the second biggest promotion in the United States.
Right.
It's got like a global following. That was actually live on Twitch. That's their wrestling channel right now, and it was cool seeing some of those guys come in and seeing how a lot of our guys measured up. And I think we proved that. That's where we should be. We should have a platform like that. We should have the spotlight like that because their roster compared to ours is pretty even, I think. I think they've obviously got more well-known guys because they're on that platform, because they're in that company. But if one of our guys were to step into that company, you wouldn't bat an eye.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
They had some pretty big names, that were appearing and scheduled to appear. And can you go back and watch that?
Yeah.
Let me say, I'm a big wrestling fan, and I was real anti-TNA, which used to be
Impact.
And so, it's Impact now. It used to be TNA,
right?
And so I just wasn't vibing. Like I never went paying attention. All my wrestling fans would be like, "Why can't you watch this?" And I was like, diehard WWE at one time,
right?
And because they were like picking up. It seemed like at one point they were picking up the scraps. This is a whole new era of Impact. Like a lot of indie guys have jumped on there. It's like they scraped the slate clean and started over, and that caught my eye, man. Those guys, and I was super proud of our local guys at Reality of Wrestling because they didn't miss a beat.
No.
They hung with what supposedly quote end quote the second national or third now or whatever you want to say promotion. Our local boys hung with them and went toe to toe, and they're, like you said, didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Every guy was super proud of each one of them. So
I think it's pretty cool, and it's pretty cool. Like if you think of Impact, that's where guys now huge stars in the WWE came from. That's where like AJ Styles came from. That's where like Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, a lot of those guys made their name. And I mean, even a handful of years ago, that's where like Kurt Angle went to work. That's where Christian went to work. That's where Booker T went to work in between his WWE stints. So it was cool to have that little partnership, and hopefully more things come out of that.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you feel any different stepping into the Impact, Deep Impact than you'd have any other show? Or
No, I don't, because I think I have confidence in myself to where like I feel like I am just going to do whatever I do every single time. And I do that. I've done that from the beginning. So just because I'm on a bigger platform doesn't mean I'm going to change what I do, because what I do is I go out there and try to do like my best performance each time. And if that's in front of 100 people or if that's in front of like a national audience, it's going to be the same for me either way.
Right, but you're like 99 people. I don't know if I'm going out. It has to. 100 is my number. Will all day is stepping in front of. Tell me a little bit about the journey, man. How did you start wrestling? How did you end up where you're at? I don't know if you talked about this last time you were on, but
a couple times. But like, you got new listeners. Some people hadn't heard me before. I actually started a lot later than I should have. Most people start, when they're like 18 to 21. I started when I was like 28. Because I went to college, that was the thing to do. You're supposed to go to college. You're supposed to get a job. So I got a job working like financial commodities and oil and gas. And I realized that this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is not what I meant to do. So, I've always had an affinity towards wrestling. And so I came down here to Booker T's school, and I realized like I could do this, and I could do this at an elite level. And so
Is this where you started? This is where you started training?
Yeah,
really?
This is where I started training right here. And I started working matches last January, so about a year and a half ago.
And I saw your first one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you did. JJ Blake.
JJ Blake, yeah. And your mom hit Kurt on the head. That was one of my best
Allegedly,
memories ever.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
The
there's no
lawyers
proof.
can never prove that.
There's no proof.
Right. I mean, I first noticed you, and I'm following Roe for a long time, and I don't remember that. Maybe something slipped through the cracks, but you just kept popping up on my Facebook. I follow all these wrestlers, and Will all day. But it wasn't even for Roe; it was for other promotions across this area.
Right.
And then I saw you pop up in Reality of Wrestling, and I'm like, man, this guy is hot. And you can tell by the crowd. This dude walks on stage, and the crowd is on fire. How's that in the locker room? Do people support that? Are they like, man, look who's this dude coming on? We're getting personal now.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm okay with it.
I think I don't really know. I don't really care either.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go out there and do my thing, and if somebody doesn't have support, that means maybe they need to start doing something else to
look at this.
Start garnering that support.
We're building rivalries.
It's getting hot in here.
KHEA radio, baby.
Hey, so with the Impact guys, how was that locker room presence? Were they all pretty cool, or were they kind of walking at a different pace than y'all?
I think for the majority of them, they're all pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, like we see them on different shows as well. So like when we go to different cities, I see a handful of them at other shows that I'm on.
Did I see you recently pop up in Las Vegas?
Yes, yeah, I've been doing some work at a top secret promotion there in Las Vegas.
I've been hearing tidbits about it. You can't. It's top secrets. You can't talk all about it.
No,
what
no.
can we say? Anything?
I can't say anything now.
Nothing.
All I can say is it's got the opportunity to become something pretty big, to become something national and then global. So, fingers crossed. We'll hope that happens, but you never really know. With a startup.
Yeah, there's some pretty big decisions I assume that you're making in a career that I mean I don't know if it's safe to say like it hasn't been that long. Like your wrestling career is still pretty new. You made a debut last year.
Yeah, year and a half.
You've put in a lot of work and it's really starting to pay off. How does that feel?
Great. It feels like I made the right decision, right? So it feels like me not putting all my efforts into living a life that is expected of me, or that my parents maybe would have wanted me. Now I have some leverage to say that, see,
it's
you're
working.
Like Mom,
yeah.
I have my own T-shirt.
Yeah.
You're wearing it.
Nobody would be wearing Dr. Will all day T-shirts, Mom.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've been actually really blessed. They've been supportive for everything I've ever done. So I say that with more so for like society's sake, but for my family, they've always come out and supported me when they can if they're in town, and then they've always like helped me to do whatever is my heart's desire. So not a lot of people have that, and I'm very aware and thankful of that.
Whenever you're in the ring, sometimes it gets a little acrobatic. I will say. Yeah. I mean, is that something you had before getting into wrestling, or you had to learn?
No.
Really?
I think I've done one backflip ever, and that was off a ladder. So if I'm gonna do it, why not do it big?
I'm glad I didn't put money down. So our little friend group I think I was probably a gymnast at one point
Oh
in his
God,
life.
I wish I'd be doing it a lot more.
Right. Who let's say top wrestlers in your life that inspired you to do what you do, and have you always been a wrestling fan, or is that something that came along later in life as well?
Actually, WrestleMania 14 when Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold were the main event with Mike Tyson as a special guest referee is the first match I ever saw, and I thought, man, this is the coolest thing in the world. It's got like everything.
But the build up where they rip the shirt and he's wearing the DX
I
shirt.
thought that was just so like, and gosh, it was like 98, so I was maybe 9 years old at the time. But I thought that was just the coolest thing in the world. I watched it for a few years, and then once you get into like middle school and high school, I kind of stepped out. I didn't really watch it.
You're focusing on sports.
Yeah, exactly. I was
played
playing
everything.
like 3 sports at a time.
Yeah.
Right.
So that, and like once I get into high school, I'm like, oh, I think I like girls.
Yeah. I'm gonna focus on this more.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of things that had my attention, and then once I was in college, I was still doing all that, but my buddy was like, hey, you want to watch this WrestleMania? It's here in Houston. I was like, sure. I used to like that. So 10 years later, or however long it was, I watched it, and I was like, oh, man, like, I remember why I like this, like, lit the fire inside of me again, and all through college, I was like, yeah, I think I can go do that. I'm going to go do that, and I never pulled the trigger because I was like, I don't know.
Did you talk it out, like that decision, like with friends, or was it kind of like, hey, just deep down, be like, I'm not going to tell nobody I'm playing college football?
No, with friends, I was always saying, like, hey, I want to go do this. Hey, like, this I think I could really like be good at, and then I graduated, and then I'm like, okay, now I got to go get a job, and then I got a job, and it just kind of like fell through the cracks, and then me living that everyday life, sitting at a desk, it just really wasn't for me, and I was like, it's kind of getting late, and if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do it. So
there's somebody out there doing what you love to do. Why not it be you?
Exactly. And I'll tell you this, the past like year and a half has been like the happiest time in my life.
That's awesome.
And that's because I'm not like regretting anything. That's because I'm doing something I'm passionate about, something I love, something that like excites me. So I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't go do it back now. Like, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't go do it when I was 20 because then I wouldn't have all that to live through and experience. So I'm glad I did it when I did.
On the flip side, there's somebody sitting at a desk right now saying, man, I wonder if I should take that jump. And, Will did it. Why not try it before it's too late?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I sucked at it, if it wasn't for me, then at least I jumped in and I said, hey, I did it. I understand what it's all about. I've got the experience, and you know what? Maybe I need to go do something else.
Yeah.
And even then, there's promotions all over Texas that there's a guy that you know is working a desk job 9 to 5, but
Is this on video?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But loves the business so much. He even gets up on the weekends and does this as extracurricular activity. He's never making it to WWE, but he loves it so much that he does it anyways. I feel a presence behind me.
There's something going on. Okay, there's a big belt that's walking in the studio right now.
Oh my gosh. There's a big head and a big belt walking in the stadium right now.
What's up, man? That's an awesome belt.
That
It is.
Start with these, right?
Yeah, you can pop those on. You're good.
Oh my god.
you're good.
I think Will's like, I'm going to take, he wants to
gotta get
take
used
good
to
care of
this
it too.
that-
He's
Yeah, I
like-
was about to say, don't break it before I take it this weekend. Oh my gosh.
Look at that. Is this the one? Is this the one belt that you don't?
This is the one belt
That
that
is
I
not
don't
in your
have.
position.
how many belts do you have right now?
All of them, I told you, except one.
All of
them
them.
except one. And I'm looking to fix that problem this
you can
Saturday.
move it up. It's on. Yeah, it'll hear you.
Sorry for being late, guys.
Hey.
I don't account for this belt anymore. Everywhere I go, I get stopped.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it delays me. It
Yeah.
is what it does.
Dude, I saw a
This is
promo.
the weight of the belt.
Yeah.
Seriously, have you
That
held
only
this before?
few men can carry.
I would like to.
It's 20, 30 pounds.
Ah! Okay, no, wow. it is.
Jeez.
Hey, Chevy, can you take a picture of
I
me?
sure
Is
can.
it okay if I take a
you
picture
want me to
of
take it
the
on your
belt?
Go
phone?
ahead.
You want your phone?
Yeah,
can
you
this
know,
way.
either one. You know, I
There's a
saw a
camera right
promo of you on at a department store,
I was.
and it was awesome.
It
And I
was
was just
great.
like, man, this is what I'm missing in my life. First of all, I'm missing a belt. So
We
I'm
got
It
you,
looks
brother.
good on you.
pausing
Yeah,
for a
it
second.
does.
I know.
I mean,
It runs in his family. Gardy has a cousin that
that wrestles. yeah.
wrestles. I don't know if y'all know.
Oh,
him.
you really, truly do.
Yeah.
What's his name?
His name is JT Royce. So he's out of Katy.
Okay.
And
I've heard of the name.
He's like 20. He's
I,
like
I
20.
think he does some DZW.
Yeah, he does
and he's
DZW
on
out
that, Undisputed Pro Wrestling in Santa Fe.
Okay.
He'll be on this weekend. So.
UPW.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's young. He's a young guy, but I mean, he has
I'm
a
fun
lot of
guy.
heart.
See, he's your cousin, and I'm repping him more than you are. Gardy, what's up with that, bro?
I love him. I love my cousin, man. I'm gonna be out there every chance I get, interfering and causing some drama because that's what I like.
Supporting him, screaming for him.
Has he talked to you about being his manager yet?
I've talked to him. I'm like, let me be your manager. I will talk you up and down all over the world and make you all the videos ever.
How many people that you know from your family or friends have said, I could be your manager?
Oh, at least 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's great. I'm about that life. I'm about that Paul Heyman, old school Bobby Heenan. Like, it's beautiful.
My cousin
Beautiful.
actually is back home in New Orleans. He's a manager for Elevate as the promotion.
Oh, that's a good
He
promotion,
goes by
yeah.
Brad Bradley, and he's
That's
like
awesome.
this.
You're from New
But
Orleans?
we didn't even
Originally.
introduce Brennan Steen. Just walked in. We just started talking to him. We didn't even
TV
give him
It just happened.
the introduction.
This
you know?
happened.
the TV champ.
Do you still have family over there?
Absolutely, that's what the majority of my family is.
Yeah, there's a lot of like rain and flooding going on
I know.
right now.
I thought you were from Jersey.
I am from Jersey.
Oh, okay.
But his family's from.
Oh,
New
okay,
Orleans.
yeah.
I'm from Jersey, but my family's from New Orleans.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense.
He's
New Orleans,
he's
New Jersey.
national, worldwide. You know
I would
what
have
I'm
dropped
saying?
you off on a doorstep too in Jersey.
It's not that bad.
So we've been talking to Mr. Will all day a little bit about his road to where he's at now. Let's chime in a little bit, Mr. Steen. What do you give us a little bit of the backstory?
My road to wrestling.
How did you end up where you're at?
Well, my whole entire life I wanted to do it. I think the first time I saw wrestling was like 5 years old, and I was just hooked. I sat with my dad on the couch and one night, and he was flipping through channels, and he stopped one night on Raw, and I remember from that moment on, I watched it. I actually got into wrestling when I was 19, 2009.
20 years ago.
For Booker T's old promotion, Pro Wrestling Alliance (PWA), located on Commerce Street in downtown Houston, and I did that for 2 years, and then I ran into like a wall. I took a break. I tried school out, tried different jobs out, but just wasn't happy. And I came back March 2018, and I'm the champ now.
Right, and you also hold the 2018, what is it, Breakout Star of the Year?
Breakout Rising Star of the Year, yeah.
And I've been, if you follow Brennan Steen on Facebook, if you don't, you should, because I've been following some of his promos he's putting out, just firing people left and right for not taking care of that award.
Yeah.
Holding that award to a high standard.
You got to treat my baby right.
That's right.
He's got a
Right.
new baby now.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's both. You can't neglect one child for the other.
Well,
That's all I'm
are you
saying.
neglecting the award now that you got the new hot thing, the new belt?
It's still there. I just This is definitely
Right.
the new crown.
I hear you. It's like having a new baby. You know, everybody cares about the baby, and then the 5-year-old kid's like, "What about me?" And you're like, "Sorry, kid."
Nobody cares
Right,
about you.
right. Get over it.
Your mom doesn't love you.
A fun fact about the Rising Star was Will was runner-up.
Oh,
That is.
I feel like that was like a
How do you
bit of a
feel?
jab.
How do you feel this Saturday? How do you feel like what is Will gonna get his award, or he'll still be runner-up? What do you think?
Will?
Yeah.
I think Will's going to bring it. I think Will always brings it. There's no doubt about that. But the word on the street is that this is going to be a street fight.
Ooh,
And that favors me
That could be a
125%.
little teaser. I like that. A little spoiler alert for this Saturday.
I don't know if it's a spoiler. It's a prediction.
Prediction.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, everybody has a plan, right? And
Yeah.
then you get in the ring and kind of just goes out the window.
For sure.
And you know, then you get hit in the head, and Will
Right.
starts flipping off stuff, and you hit, you know, like a chair
Right.
ends up in the ring.
We were talking about him, Impact this weekend, and that's where tell the story how you won the belt.
Well, it started off in a 12-man battle royal over the top. Final 2 pinfall or submission. So I've never been in a match like that ever before in my
Which,
life.
and let me tell you this, as I was in the crowd, as somebody in the crowd, they didn't make that announcement. Like, so we didn't know what was going on. Like,
Yeah.
12 dudes just came out, and
Yeah.
one comes out, and then 2 comes out, and we're
Yeah.
like, okay, is this a Survivor Series type scenario?
That's what it
And
kind
then-
of felt like.
Yeah. And then everybody just went at each other, and we're like, oh, okay, I guess it's a battle royal. And then at the end of the battle royal, a ref jumps in, and we're like, what the heck is going
Yeah.
on?
Yeah.
So I guess that was more of a TV announcement that was happening. So it was a fun watch. Needless
Well,
to say.
it kind of started out like Roe versus Impact, which is
Yeah.
essentially what the pay-per-view was us versus them. And so in the beginning of the match, you see us line up against each other, and Roe's starting to go at Impact.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted. We wanted a Roe guy to win. But at the end of the day, like, it's every man for himself
Right,
once it
right,
gets
right.
down to that nitty-gritty. So
You're like, but that Roe guy was really supposed to be me. So
no, I'll never say it was supposed to be me.
You
Right.
came close. You made it to the Final 4, Final 3.
Final 3, yeah.
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 We actually came down to a Roe versus Impact situation with
Yep.
the Final 4. It was us two against Josh Alexander and Willie Mack.
Yep.
Yeah.
And-
Dude, I really like watching Mac wrestle. I've been following him since he was on Lucha Underground. It's the first
Yeah.
time I really saw him. So I didn't even know he was really going to be there. So when he popped out, I kind of popped just because I'm
You're a
I
fan.
say was big Lucha Underground fan.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
He's extremely talented. He's a big guy, 280 pounds, that can move.
Yeah. I mean,
Here's a comment from Miranda. She said, "All day, my kiddo is wearing her all-day shirt at kids camp today. Is that going on at the World Gym Arena?"
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going on right now. That's awesome.
Tomorrow's their big show. They perform at noon tomorrow at the World Gym Arena. If you
and
want-
that's beautiful. I've seen a few of those kids shows.
yeah,
It's
some of
Yeah.
those kids
super
can really
cool.
go too.
Yeah.
What ages?
I believe from 9 to 11. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's a good age.
That's a good, maybe that's
Yeah.
where we can start Kurt at.
You get thrown around
Nah,
the ring.
I wouldn't want him to get discouraged.
He's not even here to defend himself. Sorry, buddy.
He actually injured himself bending over. He commented, he's in
Oh, my
Florida right now.
gosh.
He said, "My vacation's on hold. My back is out." I'm like, "What happened? What are you talking about?" He said, "I bent over and my back is hurt. My vacation's on hold." I'm like, "You're in Florida already. It's not on hold. You're wasting
He
your
could've-
vacation
yeah.
time.
He
Don't
could've
bend
just-
over." Like, what?
He's getting old.
He is getting old, man. Yeah,
I saw y'all's little duel, the sword
Yeah, I
fight.
saw that
oh,
too.
that was great.
yeah, that
gotta
was
check it
fun.
out.
That was fun. We went back and watched so Kurt. Me and him edited it together, and he was like putting all these slow motion jumps for himself, and I'm like, dude, I obviously if you break it down to slow motion, I hit you first. But
Yeah.
he had the crowd like he was an underdog there for a bit, and he had the crowd behind him, and so the judge and the human error. I was like, dude, you hear 2 pops,
Yeah,
pop,
pop, pop.
pop. It's distinct, but it's so much fun. I
You should have
love.
gone to the
Yeah.
replay, Gardy. You should throw that out to the board of judges. Take it back. He ended up winning, right?
I won. I won in
Okay.
overtime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You were killing him though.
I was.
I feel so lost. I got to check this out.
So it was like was it a fencing club or a martial arts club?
It's martial arts, but they do something called stick fighting. It's a competition where they just kind of you're trying to score points.
yeah,
Okay.
I did that at the Renfest with swords.
yeah.
It's some guy who was challenging everybody. So me and my friends walked up, and I almost walked away with a victory.
Oh.
Untrained, like
You should have came off the top of something.
I know.
That'd have been really stood
I-
out.
Counting them
almost got
W's
it.
no matter where they come from. You're just collecting them.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just a competitive guy. I'm a fun guy, but I'm a competitive guy.
You win, and at the end, you're like, "Where's my belt?" They're like, "We don't have belts in fencing." You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want a
turkey
belt.
leg.
All right, I'll take it, but I don't know how it's gonna fit.
Yeah.
How was it, Mr. Steen, coming back to Booker's place?
It was a little bit of adjustment because it's a lot more of a challenge this time around for sure. It's lot more difficult to make it to the show. But I always say, if this is really what you want to do and you put your head down, you work hard, good things will happen for you. Yeah. But it's not for everybody. I will say that.
How is it working with someone like Booker T, who is he's a living legend?
Yeah. It's truly an honor. First of all, like, they even just get critique from him on a daily basis. He's at that gym at least 2 to 3 times a week, constantly giving you advice, constantly looking at your matches, looking at film with you. It's just I'm honored. It's a privilege, really.
Oh my gosh! Now I see why he got that award.
Oh God!
Good. Hey, like you said,
are you sure?
W, bro.
Are you sure you're the baby face?
Oh
Come on,
gosh!
I like that. I like that.
No, it's awesome. It's pretty cool. Like I've always said this to everybody I've talked to. The guy you see on TV is the guy you get in real life. So there's a reason why he's so successful and like he's been to the places he's been, because he just brings that charisma wherever he goes, no matter what he's doing.
Yeah. My feelings are kind of hurt that he's doing the ESPN Hall of Fame thing when we're literally down the street and just as big. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I couldn't find a parking spot out there.
I know. I thought me and Brad were I was like, Brad, like, what's up, man? Like, come on,
keep
dude.
it local, man.
Yeah, local, right?
Now, when you started out, well, when I first really, like I said, I saw you in other promotions, saw you kind of pop out part of Legion. Mm-hmm. And Legion's kind of known as like almost a stepping ground for a lot of guys to step into Legion and then kind of break out on their own. What was the big departure? How did you actually separate from Legion? Who makes that call? Like, where does that come down? How long does it take usually? Or
I think it's different for everybody. And usually I don't know if that's from Booker T or the producers or like Kevin Bernhardt himself, who pretty much runs the whole show.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it comes down to if you're ready or not, and then sometimes it comes down to do they still need you in that group or not.
Right.
And I think I was ready a lot sooner than I actually broke out, but
I agree.
there were just a lot of like things that needed to be done. Like they couldn't just leave that group to itself. I wasn't even supposed to be there like for the 9 months that I was in it, but they needed somebody to do the singles matches, do the tag matches, and like somebody they could trust, somebody that could actually perform for them.
As somebody in the audience, it was kind of funny because you just kind of saw you just pulling the curtain back a little bit, like this guy isn't real Legion-y, and this crowd is not acting like he's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You had the shirts. You look up and you see all the all day shirts all over the place.
Yeah.
And like it was funny to. I'm surprised again. Like you said, you were in Legion as long as you were. And then when you broke out, it just seemed like an easy transition. Okay, this makes more sense.
Right. Yeah, but you got to understand, like, there can only be one guy with the ball. So, everybody has a part to play. And, sometimes it's not your time. Even if you think, like, this is what you should be doing.
Right.
Like, sometimes that's not in the cards, or other people don't think that's what you should be doing. So
you got to build the trust. You got to build the trust. So
you build the trust, and you just do like what's given to you, and you perform to the best that you can, and just show them like your worth.
Who besides each other? Because we know this has been a war going on.
Yeah, we've been doing this for like 5 months
for a while. Who would you love to be in the ring with, or who do you love to be in the ring with at Reality of Wrestling, and who inspires you as wrestlers?
I'll let you go first.
I think at Reality Wrestling for me, it's Gino. He's such an incredible hard worker, putting in the time, and he just I really believe he's going to make it to the next level without a doubt. He's just something about him, just something special. Outside of Roe, I mean, I'd love to go back in time and wrestle Macho Man.
Oh, heck yeah.
God,
big
awesome.
fan of Macho Man or Bret Hart. Those are two of the guys I idolized growing up, or looking back when watching film.
Yeah, Bret Hart, he got attacked in the ring the other day, and then
that
dude got
that was
mess
terrible.
knocked out of him.
Yeah, he did. That was at WrestleMania at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
And you, Mr. All Day, what do you think?
Well, I think right now, I've had a couple matches with him at other promotions, and then one match here at Row. But I'd say Ryan Davidson.
Yeah.
Just because he's been doing it for so long, and he's so good at everything. Like not just in the ring, he's good outside of the ring. He's just got such a great mind, and so I feel like we could really do some cool things having that big tough bear versus like smaller athletic guy. I think we could do a lot of cool things.
Yeah, and I thought you had a great match too.
Yeah, thank you. Oh man, I had bronchitis that
really
that whole week, and so that was tough to get through. I came out of the curtain do my little entrance, and I started huffing and puffing like before I got down the ramp, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be tough."
Yeah, Ruth Trine Davidson, man, is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite wrestler at Reality Wrestling. For the simple fact, man, we've been following it since they were back in the community center in Clear Lake.
Yeah.
And, we're there, and he just, the first time he stepped into that ring, just the way he steps in, looks around, just his facial expressions with the crowd, I'm like, this guy has it. And so I've been following him ever since. And
you can learn a lot from him
grow.
Really, like I said, in every aspect.
Kurt just chimed in and said, y'all are lucky I'm not there. That belt would be mine. So I don't know what that means. There's some kind of hidden message. Maybe.
Well, the belt wouldn't fit around his waist.
Touche.
What's he going to do with the hurt back?
My back. Yeah. He needs the support belt. He's got to find one that's fit for him.
I can't believe he missed our appearance. That's what I can't believe. He didn't fly back from vacation, do the appearance, and then fly back to Florida.
I can't believe he did it. He talks a lot of mess to anybody.
Truly to anybody.
Yeah, he does not care. He's in shock. He's just keep commenting, Kurt. Ice your back, man.
Ice your back.
Yeah. So we're talking reality of wrestling. If you have never been before, I think you have an opportunity. Is it this Saturday to go check that out, right?
This Saturday at 10,000 M&F Lowry World Gym Arena. It starts at 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6:30. Check it out. It's going to be a great show. We got Ryan Davidson going against Mysterious Q in a special stipulations match. We got Alex Gracia going against AQA in a women's Diamonds Division championship match. We also have a former reality wrestling champion returning. We don't know who it is, but it should be just a great show. And we have me and Will once again. Hopefully, I end it once and for all with you, buddy.
More at stake this time.
Is this it? Is this the final?
We'll see.
That's my plan.
Right. You're like, look, I already, we've already done this. If you go over, you're like, I beat him. He has to go back in line to fight his way back up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just how things work. You get a shot, and if
where does La Familia play into all this? Because that's literally who you, in theory, took the belt from. He lost it in a battle royal, but still,
I think he's probably next in line.
Yeah, he's got to be for sure. Yeah.
How did you jump up before he got his?
I think me being in the end of that battle royal, coupled with the fact that I've got a couple victories over Brendan, pushed me to the top of the line. He's the guy we're shooting for now, and I think if anybody deserves a shot. If anybody has earned a shot, I think it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is there rumors or rumblings that I might be starting right here that Will O'Day might be joining La Familia?
I will nip those in the bud.
You never say never with wrestling.
I saw that new Cadillac.
Right? He's practicing on the accordion.
It does have hydraulics.
Family.
Family.
Right? That's good.
I don't know if I have what it takes to be a wrestler. But if I did, I'm pretty sure I would end up in La Familia.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I'm not sure is fair.
I think so. I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Garcia? Yeah, you're in Familia.
Yeah.
So, no, I really love. I thought, speaking of the Impact, just to put those guys over, I think Vega and De La Cruz tore it up with the Rascals. I honestly hadn't seen the Rascals before. Like I said, I wasn't a big Impact follower. And the energy in that ring. I actually walked in kind of late. Walked in. Where De La Cruz is hitting the accordion on the stage, and I'm like, all right, it's a good time for me. I felt like I was being,
serenaded.
Serenaded coming in, and man, like I said, I think that kind of set the tone. I know there was a match before, but I missed it. I think it was a women's match.
Yeah, it was Jordan Grace versus Alex Cross.
Yeah, and so I didn't catch that one, but I can say for that one match set the tone for the night, and I really felt like the Row guys really stepped up. So it was really cool being a fan. It's like my babies, they're growing, they're growing up.
La Familia, they're a great tag. They're definitely in line for the tag titles soon.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah. Hard workers.
Hard workers, and they've been performing better and better each time they get in the ring, especially as a group. I think they'll get their just due
for sure.
Is the hardest match of the night the opener?
No. I honestly love the opener. I love setting the tone. I love getting the crowd into it. For me, I like opener and then main. But I feel like it's for me. I think in the middle, somewhere in the middle is kind of the toughest because the crowd's seen a few matches at this point, and they still got a couple more matches to go. I think anywhere after intermission or some maybe before it, that's around the time I think it's a little challenging.
Stepping into the ring, are you tempted to do something that nobody's ever seen before? And is that dangerous?
Oh, for sure. I always want to be different. I always want to go out there and do something no one before me on the card has done before. I think you always want to take chances, especially in big, for this Saturday, for example. We got a title match. We're going to be definitely taking chances, for sure, and trying to, give it all we can to the crowd.
I know I shared a video recently of a gentleman, I believe from Japan. I didn't catch a name, but actually set himself on fire from the top rope. Did you see that?
Oh my gosh!
I don't
No.
So there's a guy laying on a table, and I
Come
guess
Saturday.
Insanity.
I guess the assumption was I'm gonna jump through this guy through this table, and the impact's gonna put out the fire. Well, this guy bounces off the table, rolls onto the ring, rolls off the ring onto the mats, which are flammable. So now they're on fire, and then he starts running through the crowd because he's just trying to put himself out. And the crowd spreads.
That's a lawsuit. Wait, no.
You know, so it's Japan. Maybe they have to do things differently over there. I don't know.
I don't know.
but-
I've yet to go. You need to ask
It
Rex
was-
Andrews or Ryan Davidson.
right.
Or Alex, yeah.
Yeah, didn't Hyen just come back from
Oh yeah,
Japan?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Would y'all go?
Oh, absolutely.
To Japan?
Yeah. Wouldn't even think twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it difficult getting that chance to go out there?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm sure you gotta have some kind of connection.
I think just like getting over there in that international market, especially like as a guy who's not on a national platform now or a global platform now, of course it's like extremely hard.
Somebody has to take a chance on you. I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that had to happen.
And I think you have to do something to really stand out to catch those
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
Like set yourself on fire.
But I think I was already there. He was already part of the
Oh, okay.
Japan
He was already in
market.
Japan.
Yeah. So he was like, I'm trying to get to America.
That could be the ticket. That could be the
Right.
ticket.
So it was rough. It was a rough, I think I posted like, and they say wrestling's fake. And so this guy's just like going at it.
real
Speaking
fire.
of Ryan Davidson one more time, so he's been to the land Japan and then all the way to the great land of Canada as well. So I see him every time he goes to a different continent. I guess he puts on a patch. So his patches are going up, man.
jacket's getting filled up,
The jacket's getting filled up. So
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it is to break into that Canadian market, but
I
he
think
was
still
there.
pretty tough. You still gotta like have a passport. I don't know if you have to have a visa. I think
Yeah.
if you're only going over there for a weekend, you don't need that. But if you go over there for a tour, I think there's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done.
Have y'all had the chance to wrestle at Kiefer Bartek's promotion?
Yeah,
New
New
Texas?
Texas Pro
Yeah, New-
Wrestling.
yes.
How's that going?
Great.
good.
I think they've got something really cool, really special. I think they're not staying in one city, so they're not like just building a fan base like in one area. They're going to multiple cities.
That's what I love about them. They're just making a name for themselves, whichever town they go into. I
Yeah.
wrestled for them in Abilene, and that crowd was electric. And I imagine it's the same way in San Marcos, or wherever else. they wrestle.
Yeah. They're and I can't even like put a region because they're literally going everywhere. They're going down to the border. They're going all the way up to Abilene. They're going closer to Dallas. They're going to Austin, San Antonio, San Marcos, and they're doing everything right. They're taking steps in making sure that they're going to be around for a while.
Are there a lot of promotions that do that travel, or is that kind of like an old school thing? Like, hey, we're setting up here and we're wrestling.
I feel like most places are playing it. So
Yeah.
I feel like they're definitely stepping out and doing something different. in
Yeah.
New Texas for sure.
I think there's only like
Does Inspire do it? I don't
no.
know.
So I think
there
there's
is-
only like 3 in Texas, and that's
Yeah, that's
Lions
right.
Pride, that's Main Event, and that's New Texas. Everywhere else has their fan base in their city, and they have the same fans coming. And you try and get new fans. It's harder when you're in the same city, doing the same marketing and advertising. But we'll see what happens. I think they're doing a good thing by trying to get as many people on their bandwagon as they can. And they got great posters. They got great talent. They've got great producers and people who run the place. Terrell Tempo and Kiefer Bartek are the guys in charge, and those are 2 guys that have good brains.
For wrestling.
Yeah.
I like what Kiefer's doing out in heavy metal too with his little sheriff gimmick.
Yeah.
He comes out and he's like, I'm the sheriff of heavy, and the crowd just hates him, and he has like a scarf around his neck.
I saw he had a 3-step draw with the great Scott. I
saw
week.
that. They really were like finger gunning it. Bow, bow,
Yeah.
bow.
I'm supposed to wrestle the sheriff on August 1st.
Are you?
I'm looking
You
forward
doing
to
it?
it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, I've
Better
seen
watch
you
that.
wrestle. Is it the circus? Is it in Austin?
Wrestle
or-
Circus. Yeah.
How was that?
That's awesome. It's a massive show. That's got a big national platform. I've gotten a lot of followers from there, and I think, I don't know. It's a crazy, crazy show. It's really fun. It's completely different. It's like a super indie show. So you got all these big names coming from everywhere. And I'm in a match with Darby Allin on July 28th.
Oh, that'd be good. I
Yeah.
like Darby.
Yeah, so him and Priscilla Kelly are going to be facing me and Alex Gracia, and then I think Andrew Everett and Rosemary. So it's like a triple threat intergender tag match.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. so we're talking, and you kind of came in, we're wrestling fans, so we know, like, hey, this is what's up.
Yeah.
Somebody's out there listening and be like, I don't understand. Why do you guys do what you do? So let me ask you, what do you love about wrestling? And somebody who is not a fan, what would you say to them? Like, why do you do what you do?
I love the storytelling. I love the drama. I love the characters. For me, I was drawn to it. I was like these larger than life people from the moment I was a kid. I was like, that's what I want to do. For me, it's just all that combination of those things for sure for me.
Yeah, for me, it was just it was a combination of things that I really, really enjoyed, and that's performing, whether like acting in theater, which I had done a handful of times in the past, and then sports. So you have like the perfect mesh of these two. And then like when I'm watching sports, I like when people are like very, very good, but I also really get invested in characters, and I get invested in like Conor McGregor or Ronda Rousey are the only people I would watch in MMA. Like I don't really care for MMA that much, but I really got invested in their characters because like they drew something in me emotionally, and I think that's what we try to do to our fans, to like people who have maybe never watched wrestling before. Because if you've never seen wrestling before and you watch it, I don't know if you'll be super drawn to it, but if you see somebody who draws you like as a character or as a person, I think that's where you really make the connection.
I saw a promo that you did, I think it was with Alex Gracia, where there was some pink and she was like trying to get you ready for some stuff.
That was for Wrestle Circus.
Yeah. What was going on there? I watched it 2 times. I was like, man, he's looking good. It's coming out good. Like,
yeah. She was preparing me for the match. So we were getting ready, and so she told me to meet her at some address at 9 a.m. And I was like, okay, you know what? We're gonna get ready for this match. All right, let's go. So I get there, and she's like, okay, put this robe on. She gives me a tan. She's like, lay down. She gives me an eyebrow wax. She gave me a haircut. And finally, I was like, okay. Now we got to actually like physically prepare for, this match. It's an intense match. And she's like, oh, and the thing she keeps saying the entire time is just trust me. And so after like the 4th time of her saying that, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, this is the last time. She gives me a facial, and I'm like, all right, that's it. Get out of here. I got to be alone right now. I got to prepare. She gets out, and I'm like, big sigh of relief. Put the cucumbers on my eyes, and I lay back. Yeah, so it was fun to do. Yeah, and you know what? I think him and I do very well is like doing something outside of the box like that, not just screaming at the TV saying, "Hey, I'm gonna beat this guy up, and you should come watch me beat this guy up." It's like I said, people invest emotionally into things, and I think that is a way to garner new fans. That's a way to garner like the same fans by doing something different. And we always look to do something special and something just outside of the box, like I said.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about New Texas Pro, you're talking about Wrestle Circus, hitting up all these promotions, and people just hear us talking like, oh, okay, well, they went to this other place, but there's hours in between your location and where that is. Yeah. Let me ask you guys, keep it at PG, do you have any crazy road stories hanging out with these wrestlers that you can share on the air?
PG? I think you just...
you're like, you eliminated 90% of my stories.
A crazy road story that's PG?
Yeah.
That's going to be tough.
I think I might have one from back in the day. I went to this promotion out in Killeen, Texas, me and Ryan and a couple other guys. And me and Ryan we were trying to tip over a cow. We were like, we got to do it. We wanted to do our whole lives. So we see this cow pasture. And we get out, hop over the barbed wire fence, whatnot, head over to the cow. And cows will chase after you. They're not just going to stand there.
He's like, I didn't know that at the time.
I didn't know that. So we get there, just this cow that just emerges from the water and starts running full speed ahead of us, and we hop over. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen as far as road story.
Oh, that's awesome.
PG at least.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So did the cow get tipped or no?
Oh no, we ran. We ran like two little kids. Yeah.
He's awake.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Have you guys? Have y'all had your like mark out moment where you stepped in the ring or stepped in the locker room with a guy that just, and there's a thing with wrestling. It's like you can't overact. You can't act like you like this guy too much or be too excited in the locker rooms. You got to keep it cool. But on the inside, has there been somebody you've met or come across that has had y'all screaming like little kids on the inside?
I think when I did the extra work for WWE, when I went in the catering and saw Ric Flair, I thought
you kidding
I had
me?
to pinch myself like, oh my, woo, you know?
Yeah.
That's the coolest moment
You're
of my
just under
life.
your breath.
Did you give him like a head nod or just be like a fist bump? That's
Oh,
what
no,
I'd have been like,
I just watched it from afar while he was, filling up his plate, just being like,
He
wow.
watched him from afar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was too nervous.
And then you
about
made your
that.
plate
I
the
hear you.
exact same way. What did he get? Okay,
Yeah.
one of this, one
Extra
of
corn.
that. It's the secret.
3 shots of vodka.
All right.
What about you, Will?
Um,
Because you've had that WWE opportunity as well.
yeah.
Oh,
no,
that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really, I think to me, I don't really get like that, and I felt like when I was there, the couple times that I was there, I felt like I belonged, and I feel like like this is where I should be. This is what I want to do, and these are the people I want to work with. So I didn't really have that feeling, but I did go to WrestleMania last year, and I was walking through the what's the convention that they do? It's like WrestleCon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're talking about George R. Brown.
Yeah. So they have this WrestleCon where they have like all these legends and all these wrestlers, and they like give autographs to the fans and like take pictures with the fans. And I'm there like as a wrestler, so I'm just kind of hanging out with other dudes there. And I see like Bret Hart. That's pretty cool. I see like all these big names, and then I just happen to walk by and I see Stone Cold, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like that's the very first match I ever watched. Like that's my all-time favorite, and I like looked at him. I was like, oh man, that's really cool. I got to walk away now, because I didn't want to like fangirl out. I didn't want to be like, oh my god.
Yeah. man, that's my thing. I hang out with a lot of wrestlers. I used to run a podcast called Chop to the Chest Radio, which, spoiler alert, it's in talks of being resurrected. But
Oh my gosh,
I know, right? And so I really appreciate when wrestlers can be fans. You know what I'm saying? Because I think there's just like the stigma of like, oh, we got to be too cool. We're part of the business. We can't be. And so, man, when I see guys do have those moments of like getting into it and being excited just for being in the presence of these guys. I mean, they're the heroes, the guys that guided your path on doing what you're
Absolutely.
doing. Man, I get excited about that.
Yeah,
So I think that's super cool. And I want to give a platform to people, for wrestlers, to be excited, because I think sometimes it's kind of like, oh, you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I know it's unprofessional if they're in your locker room and be like, let me get your autograph. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's a little step too far. But but I think also in the same light, people don't appreciate or like show that they like things because they're like, oh well, I'm a wrestler. I'm not gonna freak out over somebody who's gonna do this cool thing or who's going to these people coming in. I'm not gonna act like that's not a big deal, like, because you should enjoy what you do. You should enjoy the people that you work with, and you should like have fun and be like, wow, like this moment right here, this is why like I wanted to do this. This is why I got in here, is because of like Rey Mysterio's coming. Like how cool is that when Rey Mysterio came to reality wrestling? I wasn't here for that, but like if I would have been.
You don't recognize him because you don't know what he looks like without a mask.
Right, yeah.
Which one?
Yeah. But still, like, you got to take a moment to like appreciate everything. And I think a lot of that gets lost because people are trying to be too cool, like you said.
I think also, like, you're on the card. You're on the main card wrestling in Texas, and there's people that, they want and they're working to what y'all are doing. And if y'all, like, even take that time to be like, man, I see you. Hey, man, that's awesome. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. That means a lot to those people who are up and coming, and you're living their dream right now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And people at our level, I think that happens a lot. Like, when you go to other shows, people do say that to you. I think that more so people stay away from it when you see like a top guy coming
Bret
in.
Hart.
Yeah, you don't want to go up to him and be like, "Oh my gosh, like you're the reason why I got into this," which is, probably one of the reasons why he got into it. Bret Hart's like one of his all-time favorites.
Yeah. Musicians are the same way. And me and you playing music,
Yeah.
I met my career from MXPX, and I was just like, I couldn't find words. I was just like, thank you.
Yeah. No, I met my career from XPS one time, and I totally fan. I said, bro, your music was the soundtrack to my life. And he's like, oh, cool, thanks. Signed my record and walked away, and I was like,
same thing. Like,
we could have hugged, bro. We could have hugged or something.
Yeah, it was awkward. I mean,
was
I had my
super.
buddies there too, and they were just like, you weirded him out. I was like, maybe so.
Dude, I
but-
totally did, because I just happened to have a record. I was at a show, and he just happened to step off the stage, and I didn't wait for him. I just happened to be standing there. I look up, and he's walking at me, and I'm the first one coming off the stage. It was like when they were in there, like not so big. Like now, it'd be harder to do that, but because they went through like a big movement, MXPX, smaller movement. Now they're getting big again. But and I was just standing there. I happened to have a vinyl, and I was like, you want to sign it? Like, you know, and so while he's signing, I'm telling him, he's like, thanks, kid. Like, we're probably almost close to the same age. Like, it was bad. Like, I was like, just heartbroken. Like,
Yeah.
I did meet the guys from Slick Shoes one time, hung out with them in an elevator. We happened to be at the same hotel.
Was that Alvin?
And we went to Dallas to go see
What was that
him.
Alvin venue called?
The Journey.
The Journey. That's right.
Yeah. And so, anyways, that was a long time ago.
We're talking about reality of wrestling.
We are.
We have some superstars in studio. You know, a short segment for music
for MXPX, yeah.
Well,
Respect.
Variety.
Yeah.
So this Saturday, the bell is on the line. You know, I'm going to be honest. If I was the champion and I was just, I got my belt, I'd be like, okay, we're going to wait like a week or 2, 3 before I risk this.
Yeah. Somebody over there doesn't like me.
Yeah.
Because they're already
Like, yeah,
putting
you're
me
out.
in another title match. Well, and it's a street fight.
Yeah.
I just
A
won
week
this
away
thing.
from a week away from winning it. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
I mean,
but that's what a champion does. They defend it.
They
you know,
they saw
day in, day out.
the week of business that did with him as champion, and they really needed to change it. They're like, oh my gosh, like get the title off this guy. We need to make some money.
These are lies. All lies.
it's going to be exciting.
It's
yeah,
gonna be really
exciting.
cool. It's gonna be really cool. We have a meet and greet before the show, so come out for that. The show starts at 7, like you said, at 10,000 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway, right here in
meet
Texas
greet's
City.
5, right?
I'm not sure what time it's at. Look on the website, realityofwrestling.com, or just like on any social media site, and that'll be posted here imminently, I believe.
I wonder who the former champ is. Do you have any guesses?
For the former champ of that belt?
Well, no, there's a former champion that's going to be making an appearance, but it's mystery. I'm guessing Rex. It has to be Rex.
You got to come to find out.
You got to come to find out. Let me ask you this while we're here. We're talking reality of wrestling. We're talking pulling the curtain back a little bit.
Yeah.
So you guys are Will Allday and Brendan Steen, but you're also these characters that we play. You got into it for the show, for the entertainment. Who is Will Allday and who is Brendan Steen as characters? For people maybe haven't set foot in reality of wrestling, and this is going to be the element that pulls them into the door.
I think Brendan Steen is somebody who'll stop at nothing to get what he wants, for sure. A little bit of a lunatic, I would say, for sure, from Jersey. I came on the scene making a mark for the day one, like my first match, and that's what I've been trying to do every time I step out there. And I'll give you a show. If you come out here, that's one thing I can promise. You'll be entertained. That's one thing I can promise you when you come see my match.
Yeah, I think, whether the lights are on or off, I think Will Allday's the same guy.
Yeah.
Truly, yeah.
Yeah.
There are people that say that, he's an underdog, because he's like undersized. He's not like one of these big 6'2" monsters. But I'll tell you this right now, that I'm not an underdog, and I've never been an underdog because I've just been that good, and I believe that I'm that good ever since I started. And so, people can say what they want, but every single time I go out there, I prove it. And this Saturday is going to be no different.
I'm excited. He's like shaking his head over there. I don't know.
He's like, I'll let him talk on the radio.
You can have this. Saturday's my night.
Yeah, it's all on the line this Saturday.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah. Very nice.
There
Very
Boom,
nice.
boom,
Nice.
boom. Mr. Gardy Garcia, any more questions?
I'm trying to think.
For the reality
is there
wrestling
anything else y'all would
superstars.
like to share? Anything at all?
I'd like to share that, whether this is the last time or not, I've said this in every interview, so I'll keep it going. I think he's probably my greatest opponent that I've ever had. I've had like the best matches of my career with him. I've had the most fun going out there and beating the heck out of each other. It's just been fun, and it's not only been fun, but it's been great. And I think if you come out to this show, or even if you watch some of our past shows, you'll realize that, and you'll see how special this rivalry truly is.
Yeah. Without sounding too sappy, the feeling's definitely mutual.
Yeah.
He definitely brings the best out of me, and my best matches are with him. And if you want to see something really special, come out this Saturday and see me and him go at it, for sure.
Wow.
And we got a title online, so we're definitely going to bring everything to the wall.
Yep.
So who do you feel's better?
What's that?
No, I'm just kidding.
So who's better? Hey, we're going to sew up the show today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we appreciate y'all. And y'all are welcome back anytime.
Thank you so
guys
much.
for having us. We
Pleasure
had a
to be
blast.
here. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Be blessed, guys.